you
too much light.
for coming to Purge of the Serpentholds. This is Season 1, Episode 10, Unflinching Vision. I'm Corinne of Roll the Roll, and I'm known as Manic Pixie Girl on Twitter. I hope everyone watching has been washing their hands and maintaining social distance, if they can. Before we jump into the recap, I have a few announcements to make. Firstly, I would like to thank Ryan at the Simulcray on Twitter for the theme song he created for us. You heard that in that last Starting Soon screen there. I'm just going to pop it in here. Boop. He has open commission slots and a new computer, so hit him up with all your music needs. He does a really great job. And I'd also like to thank the Onyx Path for inviting us to run the show. If you haven't picked up the Scarred Lands Player's Guide yet, you can get it via PDF from DriveThruRPG or in print from Indie Press Revolution. I'm going to link both those in chat as per usual. There you go. And please let me know if you're having any trouble hearing me or anything like that. If you have extra time to kill and you're interested in playtesting new Scarred Lands content, the below link has you covered. These playtests are released frequently, and your responses matter, so get over there and start testing some new content. Finally, if you would like to support the show, please check out our Ko-Fi. As always, that link is in the chat. Everything that goes in that Ko-Fi goes to making the show better, helping us get new songs and new graphics and stuff like that. Without further ado, I'd like to pass the floor to my players. Introduce yourselves, tell us a little about your characters, and then we can get on with the show. This week we'll start with Rune first, if he's done eating.
Yeah, I'm done eating. Hi, I'm Rune. I am playing Marigold, the Drendali elven bard, who is the epitome of extra. I do art things. That's me.
Very nice, very nice. Megan, you're up next.
Hello, my name is Megan, and I am playing Caravan. She is a blood-stained, tritoned monk with anger issues.
Very nice. Then we have Candy.
Hi, I'm Candy. I play Kai Thorncraft, the halfling paladin, also known as the itty-bitty tin can.
Lovely, lovely. Alrighty, and last but certainly not least, Hiromi.
Hi, I'm Hiromi. I'm playing Zasa, the Asathi wizard, which makes her a lizard wizard. And she has this amazing hat in character because all wizards need cool hats.
It's incredibly true. I think that is a wizard staple, is having a cool hat. Alrighty, we are down Shawnee today. She was and is still in the process of basically moving into her new home. And she's having some kitty troubles, which is definitely works because she is also a cat here. But we will miss her, but she will be back next week. So where we left off last time was that you all had returned back to Meliad with Mormo's lips in tow. You had a meeting with Sina and her boss Morin. And while you were having that meeting, what were your feelings on the situation? How did you all feel about kind of what was going on there?
Skeptical.
That was sus as fuck.
Pretty much.
So you're not trusting Morin, is what I'm hearing.
No.
Oh.
No, God have mercy, no.
That checks out. All right, so you're not having some great feelings about Sina's boss. She seems a little bit sketchy, but you still made the handoff for the lips, right? You still gave those over to Sina.
Yeah, I guess we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, which Zasa would not have realized this, but I am certain that Rune or someone else would have. We should have gotten paid.
Yes.
Zasa
Marigold
would not have
been
noticed.
Very insistent about and yes, we brought you back your lips. Here they are, safe and sound, just as promised. Now, where is our money?
So, at the end of your discussion, you made that exchange, and you were paid. It wasn't much as per usual. The real money you get is from actually getting to the Serpentholds and finding goods there. But you were all given, I'd say it was 300 gold total. So split that evenly among the party is 300 gold total.
Divided by 5?
Yeah.
60 gold.
Yep.
Thank you.
And you were also given, let's see, what else I think she would have given you. She also gave you, you got a map of the area. You know that. You got a map of the perforated plain showing you where you had to go. And then you also, were probably given just, a couple of like small trinkets, you know, just like she's like, oh, and I have this, here you go. So I'd say you got a couple of like brooches and rings and necklaces that were worth probably about 5 gold each. So I'd say an extra 5 gold to all of you once you sell that. Unless you just want to keep it and be pretty, you can do that too. Just some random trinkets that came along with it.
Beauty is priceless.
Exactly. So yeah, you did make that exchange, and then you were all going to head to the river to take the boat up towards the perforated plains. But before you did stop at the library to get some reading material, to check in some things, to learn about where you were going, as well as Marigold. I know that you were looking into the Bard colleges.
I was, yes.
While you were looking into Bard colleges, you found that there isn't a Bardic college in Meliad, which is kind of strange. But instead, in Ethelwald, because you went to Ethelwald for the library. So you found one that there wasn't one in Ethelwald, which is kind of strange considering it is kind of a academic town. But instead, what they do have is a remote program where students can meet with a representative from each college. So if you want to go meet with the representatives before you leave, that's certainly something you can do in Ethelwald, is meet with those Bardic College representatives.
Is anyone opposed to that?
It's the pursuit of knowledge. We should do it.
Sort of. Yes, no, if that's agreeable to all of you, I'd like to meet them. It's about time I figured out what I was doing with myself here.
I'm sure that other group that's missing is fine, and there's no time pressure or anything. They're probably just hanging out.
I mean, before we leave, like today, I'm not...
You would still be, you would know that there's going to be frequent riverboats, so it's not like you're, on a super time crunch to get to one specific one. And you do still have all your trusty steeds, your lizards and zebra. So you can take this a little bit of extra time. It's not going to make a big difference in the scheme of things. It makes a difference between arriving, like tonight or arriving tomorrow morning for the first boat. Because if you get there tonight, there's not going to be a boat going in the middle of the night. So.
How well do lizards and zebras do on boats?
Ooh.
Probably not well.
Do we need to get floaties for them? Little life vests?
Well,
the boat
How big is the boat?
that's a good question.
Yeah.
So if you want a little more information on the boat, I'd say that anybody who wasn't going to the Bardic colleges could go just look up this boat route and get more information about the boat itself, if you wanted.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go check out the boats.
Okay, so who's going for boats and who's going to Bardic colleges?
Zasa, where are you going?
Go to the Bardic College.
Okay, so Zasa and Marigold are going to the Bardic College. Kai is going to the boats. Okay, Kai and Caravan. Okay, so first we'll just do boats. So Kai and Caravan, you still within the library that you were all in, you're able to find that there is a lot of information about this boat route. This boat route is a really common one for traders. You find that it's heavily frequented, so it's one that's used to seeing a lot of travel on it. You also know that there are various settlements along the river, people living in outposts and things like that. The boat itself, it depends on the day on how big it's going to be. They have a couple of different vessels that they use depending on the load that's being carried. So if it's a really, a lot of people on the boat with a lot of different animals and a lot of different caravans and things like that, it would be a really large vessel, just about as big as the river could handle. If it was a lower traffic day, you would have a small to medium vessel, just enough to carry a couple of, a handful of pack animals, draft horses, things like that, along with the people going with them. So you can assume that whichever boat's being taken will have enough space, but it does depend on how many people are there looking to use it, on how big the boat's going to be. You could end up in a pretty tightly packed smaller vessel, or you could end up with, a big vessel, lots of room, but full of a lot of people.
Would the animals be kept like under the deck, no matter what the arrangement?
Generally speaking, yes, you'd find that they'd probably be kept under deck in an area that is, safe for them to be without any animals, jumping off the boat or anything like that. There is, it looks like the different vessels have different areas kind of set up for that, but it is kind of a standard, your animal goes down below deck, just to kind of make room for people and goods and things like that on the upper levels.
Okay. How much is the fare for the boat
So
to where we're going?
the fare for the boat, for where you were going, since you're basically taking the boat, let me get a quick look at that map real fast. Gotta look at my map. You're taking the boat probably about, let's see, basically the largest portion of the merchant area. So you're taking it kind of like the whole way. It's not as far as the boat goes. They do send up trips that go higher up, but those ones aren't really the merchant vessels so much anymore. They're usually, people who are trying to get places, things like that. You're really taking it more the merchant route. For the merchant route, if it's just yourselves, your animals, and some supplies, you're not bringing any trade supplies with you really, you'd be looking at probably about 15 gold per person, and that's including you, your animal, and anything you're bringing with you. If you were trying to bring back something big, or if you brought like barrels of stuff with you on the way back, for instance, then it would cost you more because you'd be charged per the load you were bringing with.
Okay. It's good. And did we find out how long this trip would take on the river?
Yeah, so this trip to where you're trying to get is just a day.
Okay.
It's not too long of a journey. It's much faster than if you were going on foot, and much less dangerous. Going on foot would have required you to either go back to the pass, just be traveling through kind of wilderness between towns, or going through the fouled forest, which was just a bad idea. It's called the fouled forest, so you probably don't want to go there.
Yeah.
It's just perfectly safe.
It's fine.
It just has lots of birds.
Yeah, it's the
foul
foul
forest.
It's
Yeah.
full of foul. That's definitely how it's spelled too. Yeah, don't look at the map. It's fine.
Better watch that place like a hawk.
Oh, we're starting early with
Keeping-
the puns.
Keep an eagle eye out.
Sorry.
Oh, Lord.
It's all right.
Okay.
It's all right.
All right.
All right.
All right. Score
I have
on the
everything that
horizon.
I have everything that I need from the boats. Do you have any other questions, Candy?
No. I'm good.
Okay. So, yeah, you're basically able to find all the information you need. This is a very well-traveled route, and, it's probably going to be pretty safe. It's going to give you guys some time to kick back, relax, and just kind of be on a boat, assuming being on a boat isn't a problem for you. If you're afraid of the water, if you get seasick or river sick, I guess, it might be a problem, but in general, this is just going to be a nice, day trip down a river. It could be a little crowded, but other than that, it should be a nice, relaxing, in a way, journey.
We definitely will not get ambushed along the water by creatures that, to cross promote, they came from beneath the sea, also available by Onyx Path.
They came from beneath the river. Well, now I have to go get a sea monster real fast.
No, I don't think you do. It's fine. It's fine.
We're good with not the sea monsters. Thanks.
No sea
Merciful
monsters
DM.
then? All right. No sea monsters, just for you.
Thanks. I'm gonna start getting reminded of my other D&D game where there were sea monsters. It didn't go well.
Sea monster flashbacks. All right, so now we go to the Bardic College, or, well, in this case, the remote program.
College Correspondence College.
Exactly.
A mail-in degree.
Yep. So you go to you have to look around a little bit. The building where this is located is quite small. But you were able to find information on it in the library. You are able to locate it. What you see on the outside is that it's a pretty small building. It has a little sign that says Bardic College Remote Program, and then it lists like basically every Bardic college you could think of, just all in a long list, and it shows like a name beside it, saying like, oh, this person is this college, this person's that college. It seems that even some lesser known colleges are included, but they're usually like way down at the bottom. You have the big ones up top, and then it gets more obscure the more you go down. There's just, a door. It looks like you could just open up, go inside. Do you just walk in, or do you do anything else first?
I'll read the sign. How many colleges are on there?
A lot. You have all the main colleges. You have College of Glamour. You have some more specific ones, like College of Needles. But it's really like it's a pretty long list. You do see down at the bottom there's one called College of Remembrance. That one is really far down at the bottom. It looks like these may be organized by like popularity, instead of by alphabetical or anything like that. Like you think it's
lore bards are at the top.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like they've organized it by, oh, we think you're here for these ones, but if you're not, here's the rest. Just kind of organized like that.
All right. Well, no, I was just wondering.
Okay.
This organizational schema annoys me.
I know, it's out of order. You think, oh no, let's put it in logical order so you can just scan down the list. But no, it's organized by some random metric that is currently decided. Whatever. I get what you mean.
One thing you did notice is that the little plates that the colleges were on can be moved around. They
okay.
Yeah, so it is something, it's not stuck in place. If suddenly they had a ton of people doing College of Needles, they could then move it up to the top and organize it like that. So it was movable.
Why did you have to say that? Why did you have to say that?
Devil pops up on Zasa's shoulder and is like, organize them.
Alphabetically.
Zasa spends the next 10 minutes alphabetizing this.
I will actually, Marigold actually steps kind of in front of Zasa between her and the door and will assist with a 19 sleight of hand to alphabetize the list.
All right. Zasa, I would like you to just do, just give me like a flat D20, unless you can think of something better to use for alphabetizing this list. I mean,
Intelligence check.
You can do an intelligence check, I guess.
Intelligence, yeah.
I assume you know your alphabet, but
Ooh.
well, let me see how well you know that alphabet.
Also has not had enough coffee.
H.
I would say that because of the Marigold's helping with sleight of hand, keeping you hidden, you have more time, you can roll that with advantage, so you can roll again.
I can't inspire her,
Okay.
can I?
I mean, I guess you could, if that's what you want to do.
I feel extra.
Okay. Okay, you can bardically inspire for this.
A, B, C. That's easy. So I do
Perfection.
Thank you. That song, by the way, I'm not going to sing the rest of it because it's very difficult.
It is. It's a hard song. So with your bardic inspiration, isn't there an extra plus to the...
1d4, level 3.
Okay. Okay. So roll that bardic inspiration, and it can be added to your intelligence for this.
Yeah, 16. There you go.
16.
Okay.
All right.
So with Marigold's help, he's back there singing A, B, C, right behind you. It helps. It helps, oddly enough. Even though there's not every letter in that song, it still helps. Unless there is. I don't know. I haven't listened to it in a while. But you're able to alphabetize these completely. You have totally messed up the schema they had, which was doing it by popularity, and it is now alphabetized. You can all give yourselves a pat on the back for that. You alphabetize the Bardic College Remote Program.
It's been improved.
God, that's the most human contact I've had in weeks. Sorry, too soon. All right, we go in.
All right, so you go in, and a little bell jingles, like a little ding-a-ling, as you enter, and you see someone who is like face down in a book, just like sitting at a desk. It looks like a reception desk. You hear little snores, like shh, shh, but it's muffled by the book. You see like the page of the book like ruffling up and down.
Okay, do we want to do this
Is-
nicely or no?
Is there a bell?
There is a little bell, another bell, because there was a bell on the door, which
Oh,
didn't
sure.
seem to wake them. But there is another bell. You know, you could ding it to wake them up if you wanted.
Is that the nice way?
Sasa doesn't have enough people skills for this. Ding!
You hear kind of like a weird snorting like grunt, and they open up like eyes wide, like, oh, hi, I'm
Fell asleep
sorry.
literally inside of a book, eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Been there myself.
up late studying. You know, I haven't slept in days. Other than that was actually pretty good. Oh, I drooled. You see. That
Oh
she's
yeah,
kind of-
I've been there too. Hold on, let me help. Prestidigitation.
You prestidigitate the drool right off the book, helping her out. She has kind of messy dark hair. It looks like it was probably messy even before she fell asleep face first in a book. But she's a little bit awake now. Her eyes are a little bloodshot. Right. Thank you so much. I need to bring this back to the library, so I don't want to have drool in it. I really appreciate that. What can I help you with? What are you looking for today?
Bardic College?
Yes. I mean, we're full of them, kind of. We have a representative from each of the colleges here, if you want to talk to them. We also, we do just have some books on each of the colleges you can look through, see their programs, what they're known for. And then, if you've decided on one, we have information on where the nearest Bard college for that specific set of bards is. So, if you wanted College of Needles, then we have a book right here. Tells you where it is.
No. Do you mind if I just look at the pamphlet really quickly?
Yeah, of course. Right over there. And, you turn around and you would see, like, just a little stand that has all these pamphlets in it that has each of the bardic colleges, like, on a different pamphlet, emblazoned on it.
Grim, too flashy, really boring. What, aren't you just wizards? Marigold turns around and starts observing the stand and starts kind of digging through it if Sasa wants to do anything. So he'll be a second. No. God, why? No.
So as you're doing
Sasa's
that,
actually gonna shoulder read and just oh, that's your heuristic. Oh no. Oh, that's your. Oh no. Interesting.
Well, no, but what about this College of Whispers? Ugh. It just sets it back in the...
You don't seem like a whispering type.
No! Not
Certainly
at all!
How would you even whisper with bagpipes?
It's not really my style. This glamour thing looks interesting, but it's so self-serving. Thunk. No, this morning. Ugh, depressing. Oh, this one looks good. What about this one? Who do I talk to about this one?
oh, can you bring it a little closer? She even comes out from behind the desk, takes the pamphlet. She's like, oh, this is a newer one, or at least a not as popular one. I don't see it that much. This is the College of Remembrance. Let me just check my notes real fast. I have a big spreadsheet that I use to keep track of all these. And she goes back and starts looking through her spreadsheet. It takes her a moment or so, but then she turns back around. She's like, you want to talk to Brant. Brant, you're just going to go down that hallway. His is going to be the door on the way back. It kind of looks like a broom closet. It's not a broom closet. Not anymore. You'll find Brant in there.
Thank you so much for your help. What's your name?
Oh, my name is Tiff.
Tiff, thank you so much, Tiff. We won't be very long. We're actually leaving town here shortly, but have a lovely afternoon. And yoop, carefully, like, gently tug Zasa by the back of the hat if she's still immersed in the pamphlets.
Good luck with your exams.
Thank you. And you see her kind of go back to her desk and start reading again. A little bit more awake now that she's had some sort of conversation,
Nap.
not just staring at the book, and a nap. A little bit of everything helped. So as you go down this hallway, it's kind of narrow. There's lots of doors. You don't really hear much coming out of them. You think there might be some sort of like a silence spell, like a dampening spell, so that you don't hear what's going on inside of them, because there could be lots of bards in there making noise for all you know, or there's just not. But you can't hear much from the hallway. Sometimes you'll hear the occasional sound, but on the whole, it's pretty much nondescript, just a long hallway. I would like you to roll just an investigation check to see if you can find the door for the College of Remembrance.
Certainly. What am I good at? Not this!
Hey!
10.
Got you.
So,
Thank you, Zasa.
Marigold, you're kind of struggling. You see a lot of doors. There's just a lot. And you keep, like going up to them and then like looking, and there'll be like little plaques that'll say what they need. And you're just not finding it really. But then Zasa, you keep walking. You remember what side of the hallway Tiff said it would be on. And you see that the reason why Marigold was having some trouble is the plaque had fallen off. And was on the ground. But you see, it says that, it says College of Remembrance, and then it's Remembrance, and then it says Brant. Do you pick it up? Do you try and put it back in its little slidey
Of course.
thingy? Okay.
Of course.
So you pick it up, you slide it back in. It goes in pretty easy, but it looks like the casing was a little bit bent, and that's why it fell out. It was bent on the bottom, so it just kind of went. Bleh. You think it might do that again if it's not fixed?
Have a hammer. The ball-peen hammer.
Don't think so.
You do, at least somebody has, the little hammers for the mountain climbing. I'm not sure if one of you would have them on you.
No.
But somebody in the party had them. It could be something that you can just let Tiff know, and she can see about putting in a maintenance request.
Flip the ends of the parasol around.
Ceiling wax.
There you go.
See, you can fix it with wax as well. So would you like to try and fix it with wax? Kind of wedge it in there? Yeah, I'd say you're able to fix that. You just kind of wedge the wax in there, you mold it a little bit, kind of stick it in there, and the plaque, it looks like it's going to stay now. All right.
Problem solved.
That works. Excuse me, sorry.
All the dust from this dusty hallway.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't mind me not dying, really.
All right, so
Tap on the door.
You knock, and you hear kind of some shuffling from inside. Not a whole lot, like I said, it's kind of dampened. But then somebody opens the door. The person who opens the door is pretty slight, with short, shorn blonde hair. He is wearing like a very vibrant and beautiful cloak. And he's like, oh, hi. Yes, come in, please.
We pile in, I guess.
So you go in, you see that the room is pretty small. You think that maybe some of the other bardic colleges have bigger rooms so they can have more people in at once, but this one seems like it's pretty small. It looks like it might have at one point been a broom closet. There's no brooms in here now, but it's looking kind of broom closet-y. He's like, oh, take a seat, and he picks some books up and puts them somewhere else because they were on a chair, and then he grabs a stool, and he's like, oh, I don't want you to have to sit on the stool.
I can stand. Really, it's fine. I can stand.
Are you sure? I mean, prospective student and all. I don't want to. Sorry, I'm not used to having people actually here.
Yeah, no, I gathered. Your sign was all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, and we're still kind of new, fresh, happening. And not really, but you're here, and that's so exciting.
I am. Hello.
It's great to meet you. I'm Brant.
Nice to meet you, Brant. Marigold, this is my friend Zasa.
Oh,
quite an
good to
accomplished
know.
wizard.
He when he's holding your hand, to give a good shake, he holds it with both hands, shakes it very vigorously. So, yeah, you're interested in the College of Remembrance, right? That's why you're here. You're not looking for somebody else.
No, it seemed to be good. More about celebrating life than mourning it.
Yes, and I mean that's why I'm here. You know, there is kind of a beauty in death. You know, the life that was lived. I think not a lot of people think of it that way. It's all about the sadness and the it's over.
Mourning, yeah.
And mourning has its place, of course, but there's a celebration of life that I think needs to happen as well, and that's why I'm here.
I can see that. I don't really. Sorry, I'm not often struck sort of without words. What exactly do College of Remembrance bards do, other than being proponents of celebration of life? I've had my fair share of funerals since I got into this continent. It seems like there's one every other week in every other town. People die all the time here.
And that is a part of it, being the other side to that coin. While the mourning's happening, you have to be there to kind of remind people of the good times, the things that person would want remembered, instead of how they were in death. Much more, I think it's better to remember how they were in life. But I would say, if you're looking for more of a description of what we do as a college, we are, in a way, we're about communication. We're about openness, about being that bright light in the darkness, in a way. Being there for your friends, your family. Kind of drawing attention to the good that's in the bad. It's very much something where it's about loyalty and friendship, and I feel this is all so nebulous, but I think this is a terrible and violent place. I'm sure and there's
Very well.
so much. Remembrance bards, we do everything in our power to lift the spirits of those around us. As someone once said, that we were like butterflies dancing on the graves of the departed, and not everybody really understands what our mission is, and some people are going to view us that way, like we're making light of death, but I don't think that's it. We're brightness and light and color in this grim land, and we are the other side of that coin, I think, is the best way to put it.
Oh, yeah. I did read all the descriptions of the other ones. I was looking at the College of Mourners because that's sort of what I've been doing, and they just seem so depressing. So what do I do? How do I sign up?
Oh, you're going to sign up? I was thinking you were going to say you're going to go with the College of Mourners.
No, why would I? They're depressing.
They are. I don't mean to speak ill of our sister college.
Come on, they're depressing.
They are. They're killjoys. But yes,
business with the undead and ugh.
Yeah.
Wait, you can kill Joy?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Just ask the
very
College of
much
Mourners bard. They kill joy.
They're
Interesting.
Boy.
I've heard they're experts at it, actually.
They are. They walk in a room and the joy sucked right out of it.
I'd like to be the opposite of that.
Then you are in the right place.
Delightful.
Brant goes and grabs like a big book, and he turns around, flips it open to a page. You sign your name right here. This is the registry for the College of Remembrance.
Right.
Once you're in here, we can start, sending you leaflets, course material, things to help you on your journey, help you learn a little bit while you're on the road. I see you're a busy adventurer. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah. No. I did the backpack sort of clue you in. Yes. No.
The dirty, ripped backpack. Yeah. It looks like an adventuring backpack. What can I say?
I need to get that fixed. It really doesn't go with my decor.
Do you need a letter of recommendation for Marigold?
No, if you have one, I mean.
How many do you need? I have written several for this particular happenstance.
What?
Well, I mean,
You're a very accomplished bard, and you deserve to get into whatever college you desire. So I wrote letters of recommendation. How many do you require?
My boss would probably love to see me get 2. I was
I'll give you
just
3.
gonna let him in, but thank you. These are, he starts reading like, wow. I didn't know Marigold. Wow.
What did you write about me?
We are so lucky to have you in the College of Remembrance. My boss is going to be so pleased to hear about this. Oh, this is wonderful. We're going to frame these, put them on the wall. Everyone's going to come in and know, hey, Marigold's in this college, and maybe some other people will actually want to be in it. Yeah, so you just put your name there. You're in. These letters are great. And once you have their name there, you will get, like I said, some frequent coursework. Instructions, things like that to help you along your way. Because busy adventurer, you don't have time to just sit in a school. So we're bringing the school to you.
Do we have a school?
Yes.
Is it this closet?
Sometimes.
Perfect.
And you see that there are just like books and various binders just full of like coursework, like in various bookshelves, like lining the walls. So it seems like most of the school is probably in this closet. Maybe there's somebody else running a class somewhere, but the entirety of the College of Remembrance is basically right here in this closet.
Right, real name or stage name, which do you want?
Oh, whatever you go by most, the easiest way to find you.
I don't know how the magic works, honestly. It's also if you cast a sending or a message to somebody's stage name, does it find them?
As long as you've attached that name to that person in your particular mind, yes. If you just sort of throw stage names and names not necessarily firmly attached psychically within your own mind, you're looking at about a 40% failure rate. I could get you the actual statistics on that, as well as other variables that are going to mitigate that issue. But since this representative has seen you and can firmly attach those facts in his mind, there should be a very low failure rate, barring, of course, layers of lead, thicker layers of iron, and other materials such as that.
Right. Okay. Janelor Silmer, but just about everyone calls me Marigold.
Oh, well, you can put both down. I think I'll be able to find you. I know what you look like. I have your names.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll get the frequent course material. You'll be able to work from there. If you have any questions, you can always respond via Bird. I'm happy to answer any questions. That's basically it. There will be, a slight fee associated with, each of the course loads that get sent to you. Basically, just for the Bird, they have to get paid. But other than that, we want as many people in this college as possible because we are really low on money.
Right. Well, how much is the enrollment fee?
The enrollment fee, honestly, you're the first person to ask. No one else has joined this college.
Wait, I'm the first. You're the first College of Remembrance Bard, and I'm the second.
Yes.
Perfect.
My boss is in the College of Mourners.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we're going to have to fix that, aren't we?
Yeah. She really didn't think I was cut out for it and said, why don't you start your own college? And I did, and I'm in a closet now.
Good job! That's fantastic.
You know what? You're doing something new, and everybody's afraid of new things. So don't give up. And now there's 2 of us.
There's 2 of us, and that is fantastic. You see that Brant, as small as he is, just seems to be kind of like his enthusiasm is very much contagious, and like he's kind of like filling the room with his presence. You can kind of tell, why he's a College of Remembrance Bard instead of a College of Mourning Bard. I guess a basic enrollment, 20 gold. I guess.
Look. Take 40,
Okay.
and that'll cover the birds, and probably the paper and the ink that you're going to need to recopy these lessons for a while, yes?
I mean, yeah. I can always put the extra gold, towards additional book
Wonderful.
fees and things like that.
Whatever you need it for, just here. Clink.
Well, thank you. You are all signed up then. I am so excited to get started on this with you, Marigold. We're gonna make a great team. And like I said, let me know any time of day if you have any questions. You can probably always get a hold of me. I don't sleep that much.
You should get some sleep. Really, take care of yourself. It helps your skin.
Well, running an entire college all by myself with now one student, I have a lot to do. But I will try and get some rest. It is important. I know. You have to live the life you have and make sure you're making the most of it.
That's true. And speaking of making the most of my life, I have to go stop the end of the world, I think. I don't know. What are we doing, Zasa? Is it sort of that sort of thing? I mean, the end of the world, adventuring.
I don't know about the end of the world, but certainly a catastrophe that we don't want to have happen.
That's true.
And
Anyway.
that most people don't want to have happen, I would imagine.
That's also true. So, Brant, thank you for your time. You'll be hearing from us.
And thank you for joining the College of Remembrance.
Exactly. Do we have a symbol?
Yes, actually. You see that he goes behind him and pulls out like a little brooch. It looks like he probably had this custom made for his first students. And he hands it over to you. I almost forgot, but this is for you.
Thank
And
you.
you see that the symbol is of a butterfly, but behind it is a skull, and the two have kind of been fused together into one image.
Metal.
Yes. So it's a butterfly and a skull. That is the symbol of the College of Remembrance. And take this with you, show it off, let people know. This is it. Tell them all about us, and maybe we'll get more students.
I will display it prominently right below my neckerchief.
Oh, awesome! And I think it'll look fantastic with your ensemble. It'll look so good.
Thank you. You know what? I am, absolutely delighted. But we must be leaving you this fine afternoon. We will be in touch. Yes.
We will. I will send you your coursework as soon as I get those first little lessons plans set up for you.
Thank you so much. Have
You're
a lovely
welcome.
afternoon.
Bye.
And here's an additional 20 gold pieces as the start of a scholarship fund for further enrollees.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Zasa. That's incredibly kind of you.
It's really rare to see a college at its beginning stages. It has to be encouraged.
Well,
I don't disagree.
I am honored. I thank you so much. What would you like the scholarship to be called?
It's a scholarship.
I mean, we could
Do
give it a name.
do scholarships have names?
Call it the
Sometimes.
Zasa Fund.
The Zasa Fund. That's a good name. We could call it the Zasa Fund, or we could call it something else if you like.
You could just call it a scholarship.
We can, if you prefer. You're the one who's making this happen.
Naming it the Zaza Fund seems somewhat inaccurate. It's not my money. I'm giving it to you. That's what we're doing here. I'm providing money to you so that it becomes a scholarship. It's not a fund for me. That doesn't make any sense.
All right. Well, what we'll call it then is the Prospective Student Fund. Sound good?
That
Yes.
works.
Okay.
That's a good name.
Okay. All right.
The Zasa Fund. I whisper it, Brad.
A Prospective Student Fund, in parentheses, Zasa Fund. You see him write this down on like a piece of paper that he like attaches to the like puts the gold in the pouch, attaches it to it, and basically just like sets it on a shelf. Like, I'll make sure I put that away later. I just kind of want to look at it for a while. And
Right.
after that, he wishes you all a farewell. You're able to leave. As you go, do you tell Tiff that the sign on the College of Remembrance closet is still kind of broken?
Yeah.
Okay, she's like, oh, thank you. I'll get that fixed. I'll put in the maintenance request. It takes them a while to help us out, but I'm sure they'll get to it. I'll mark it down in my little book, and you fixed it for now, right?
Ceiling works.
Yes.
Zasa.
Perfect. That'll stay. Did you find what you're looking for?
Yes, I'm now the second member of the College of Remembrance, so...
Oh, Brant will be so excited. I'm
He
sure
was.
he was. I'm sure he was, just
Thrilled. Delighted.
happy Brant. Oh, he's so great when he's happy. All right.
They're a college that's on the upswing. They have just doubled their enrollment numbers. That is an amazing feat for any college.
That is super impressive. We'll have to reorganize the board out there. Maybe he won't be at the bottom anymore.
I believe that's already been sorted out.
Oh, okay.
It must be a magic sign that rearranges itself.
I don't recall it being a magic sign that organizes itself, but I'll be sure to check it out later and make sure. I hope you all have a good day. Good luck.
You too, Tiff.
With whatever you're doing.
Best of luck on your exams.
Oh, thank you.
We leave.
All right, so Candy, I sent you a document. After you were done looking into information for the boat, you received a bird. That bird was bringing another letter to you. So you received that parchment, and as usual, the bird waits for payment, etc.
Okay.
All right. Alrighty. So, is there anything else you all want to do in town? I know you were waiting to hear from Zasa's friend about the flying pot. Weird statement. But that was going to, that can get to you when you're on the boat, so you don't necessarily need to wait for it. Or that information, not the pot itself. You don't know if there is a pot yet.
No, you just have to have the right connections.
Yeah.
Is the pot going to be delivered to us by bird discreetly?
I don't know how that
Discreetly.
works.
Unladen swallow.
I don't know how that would be discreet.
Yeah, I don't know how that would be discreet.
You should just be discreet with your pot. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, be discreet with it. Be careful when receiving in public. That kind of thing. All right. So, you do know that information about that will be able to reach you when you're on the boat, because, it is just coming via bird, and as you know, the birds can find you wherever you are. They're always watching and always ready to find you when necessary.
Birds aren't real.
We don't know if they're birds, but there's something. There's something that look like birds. All right, so is there anything else you want to do before you get on the, before you head to, the river to get on the boat?
Got supplies, got lizards, got the zebra. I think we're good.
Yeah, because I think you got supplies last time.
Yeah,
Anything else?
yeah, I think so.
Are we forgetting anything?
Nothing I think of.
Megan, you've got more executive processing than I do in my whole body.
We've got supplies. We're pretty sure Cena's not under duress. So we can leave her and not feel guilty about it. We have checked to make sure the lizards won't jump ship because they're very flighty. We know how much it costs to get on the boat and we're good. I think we have everything. I've got my Ask League papers, my all-star stuff here to read on the boat. I'm set.
And Kai has her next chapter of the book she was reading.
Yep.
All
I do.
laminated and ready to go.
I make sure that that our lovely Manticora has a box packed.
She would never forget it, but she's always happy to double check, make sure it's there. She probably spent some time in the box just because she remembered she had it. But yeah, so I think you're all able to travel to the boat. by the time you you stop for the night, make sure that you're well rested, and then you get to the boat in the morning. You see that there is a large barge on the river. There's a large barge on the river, and there was a big line of like merchants and travelers all kind of mixed together, waiting to pay their fee and got on the ship. It looks like it is loading. You haven't missed that, but you will have to wait in line a while to get on the ship, unless you'd like to try something to get to the head of the line.
No.
I'm fine with waiting. I do want to say, during the time that they were doing the admissions process, if there's a little side thing that I could have done.
Oh, yeah, definitely. What would you like to do?
The process of roping fancies, frills, seems a little traumatic for all involved. So Caravan would like to have gone out and purchased like an extra large kind of snood thing to just like put over his head and kind of like a hairnet, but for his frills, to keep him from injuring himself or anyone around him during situations.
Okay. I'd just like you to roll me an investigation check to see how well you're able to find something like that.
Why do I have to roll things? I don't understand why this game involves rolling. 5.
With a 5, you're not quite able to find what you're looking for, but you do know that you, at least not in Ethelwald. Ethelwald really doesn't have adventuring gear or really stuff for mounts, things like that. But you do know that you're heading to, you're going to be on this ship, and the ship is going to be full of merchants. So you will probably be able to find what you're looking for on the ship, even though you couldn't find it in Ethelwald.
Just as a makeshift solution, because I'm worrying about him being down below deck and freaking out. Could I get like a net and cut a hole in the middle of it and just like a...
Yeah, I think you can definitely do that. A net is easy to find. I'd say, like maybe if you don't already have a net, you pay like 1 silver to just get a basic net.
That sounds good to me.
And then you cut the hole in it. I'll say that you had plenty of time to find a way to get this on fancy without needing to roll checks for it, because you have all the time in the world to figure this out while you were waiting.
Just whatever lizard treats are. I don't know if they're like small kittens or what, but she'll offer one while coaxing the net over his head to distract him. Sugar cubes? I don't know. What do lizards eat? Giant lizards eat.
Large bugs, small rodents.
What is a giant bug that would feed like a dire frilled lizard?
I mean, I think
I'm
like
horrified.
a tarantula, or like those weird like plate-sized desert spiders.
Ooh.
Like
Camel spiders?
Yeah.
Yes.
Spiders. I think that'd be a good treat. Like a little dried up camel spider or something, nice and crunchy.
Yeah, so she's gonna hold that by 2 of her claws, just like distance. Fancy
Also,
distracted.
You have just invented the fishnet top for giant lizards.
Yes.
You can.
Fancy as goth as fuck.
You might be able to sell that to an entrepreneur on the ship. Just saying.
Keep that in mind.
Sell the idea. You might be able to get a little extra coin if you find.
I say we pivot with this campaign, go into an entrepreneurial direction.
All right. So yeah, you weren't able to find exactly what you were looking for, at least not in Ethelwald, but you have a makeshift solution, and you know that you could probably check on the boat. You might be able to find someone who has more specialized wares. All right, so you are waiting in line to get on the ship. It's going a little bit slowly. There's some people who have like big wagons and things, or they have to load all the stuff onto the ship. It's taking a little bit of time. Is there anything you do while you're waiting? Any discussions you want to have? Anyone you want to look for in the line, or anything like that?
Marigold, how did your trip go?
Oh, quite fruitful actually. And Zasa just apparently wrote me letters of recommendation for some reason.
It's a thing that she likes to do.
I'm just stunned. We really haven't known each other that long, and it was incredibly kind.
It's true. I was only able to write about 10 pages of information about you. Well, 10 pages of good things, anyways.
You should
Do
see
you-
like the personality, like the what do they call it? The character witness list would have more of the bad stuff. Like if you had to get some kind of clearance, that's the good dirt.
Did you write pages of information about me that were bad?
No, because if I were killed, then someone could take them. It'd be a security risk.
I'm deeply grateful that you took
I
the
keep the
time
evidence up here. The
to,
good things I can write down, though.
to write those for me. Anyway, yeah, Jessel was quite instrumental and generous with both her time and her considerable intellect. But no, I'm now the second member ever of the College of Remembrance. So
They promoted you to number 2 rank?
No, there's only 2 of us.
So effectively,
You're-
yes.
The lowest? Okay.
Also accurate.
Yeah, I guess you're the newest, so that makes sense. Doesn't seem like much of a school when there's only 2 people.
No, but I did read about the techniques and the things that they do in the world, and I want to be part of
You
it.
say they.
Say
We, I suppose, the 2 of us. I say they because I've been a member of this college for exactly, I don't know, however long it took for us to get down here.
But it sounds like before you were a member, it was just one person. So they, I mean, I guess, yeah, it could be they. Who's the other person?
Fella named Brand.
Okay. Was he
It's
cool?
a sub college. No, he's wonderful. It's a sub college of the College of Mourners, which I'm sure you've heard of. Sort of
Yeah.
depressing lot.
I know lots about colleges.
Bardic colleges.
Yes.
Caravan, how honest are you being right now? If you think you're lying, I would like you to roll a deception check, please.
I do have advantage on these now, so.
I think it should be pretty obvious. If you want me to roll, I will.
Yeah.
They've made pictorial romance novels that depict several of the different colleges and their inner workings. They're not terribly accurate, but they are very interesting reading. And they were among the things that Caravan was reading when we first went to the library. So I would imagine that she knows quite a bit about the various colleges.
It's like
Through a
Bard
certain
fan
lens.
fiction, but sexier.
Who's your favorite Bard fanfiction writer? Like, do you have a favorite or favorite series that you're into, Caravan?
Her favorite author would be Scarlet Breeze.
Oh. What kind of bardic romances does Scarlet Breeze do? Are they more like bodice rippers, or is they something softer, or?
Bodice rippers, for sure.
Okay, so Scarlet Breeze, the bardic romance author, writing bodice rippers. That's where you get your bardic knowledge from. So
Yes.
you have some bardic knowledge, but it mainly has to do with heaving bosoms.
Yeah, the actual colleges themselves, she doesn't know as much about necessarily. They're more a backdrop for the action.
I'm going to say that perhaps you've read a story about a dangerous College of Swords bard and his romance with a beautiful College of Glamour bard. Their forbidden love across colleges.
Are you also into that series?
I've heard of it.
It's okay if you're a fan. Like,
Okay,
I am
fine.
too.
Yes, I've
you don't
read
have to
them.
be
It's wonderful.
embarrassed.
Yeah, they're very,
It's
very
okay.
good. You know, I've always found the character of Andromeda to be particularly compelling, even for a bodice ripper. She's so real.
She is, but Scarlett writes them in such a way that like anybody can project themselves into the
That
character as
is
well. So you just
true.
really relate to it, and then you feel like it's your bodice being ripped. You know?
That's true, and of course, you know how she writes about
Okay.
her mother Tara. You know, the swords bard Tara. She's just wonderful. So that whole character arc is just really delightful, and you can just sort of move yourself into the story as far as your suspension of disbelief can carry you.
Oh, for sure. That one's one of my favorites. I
Is
mean,
it,
it's like it's earlier in the series.
Hmm.
I think they get a little repetitive as they go, but you know,
Well.
sometimes it's nice to just change up the names and faces.
That's
Some
true.
new,
Yes. Are you talking about
new
oh god, what's it called? What's that first one called? I can't remember the name of it.
Gosh, I don't know. Chronological order isn't something I really worry about too much because
Okay,
the
fair.
overarching plot isn't that much of a concern to me.
Wasn't that wasn't that no, the one you're talking about, the one with Tara and Andromeda, that one's Voices
The
of
hills
Distance.
are alive with the sexy sounds of music.
I think it might be that one actually. I was going to say Voices of a Distant Sexy Moon, but
No, I think that's the sequel to that one.
that is, Sexy Moon is the second one, and then
Yes.
Hills Are Alive is the first.
So Kai, I know that. Kai, I know that you're a prolific reader. Have you read any of these series, or are you into something different? I know that there was a cliffhanger on whatever you were reading.
It's not about to get any better. Currently, I am reading the letters to Jessel, and so it's a long series, but it's got everything that you would ever want. It's got romance, and it's got action, and it's got drama, and it's basically an adventurer who goes around and they like do what we do. They fight, they find people, and they do a little bit of smooching. But she sends these letters to her friend Jessel, and they sort of like do these so that the friend actually like post everything for the chapters. But yeah, it can get quite steamy. I have not read the Bardic Colleges though. I have heard of them, but I have not read them yet.
My notes are fascinating today.
Do you want to borrow my copy for the boat?
Let me finish this new chapter of Letters to Jessel, and then I would love to read something new.
Okay, because I have my own reading material, so it's okay if you borrow it.
All right. So as you finish your discussion of reading material, the line has moved up a lot. You now see that there's only a couple people ahead of you. It'll only be a couple more minutes before you're able to pay your fare and get on the ship. You notice that there are a lot of merchants already on the boat. Lots of traders and things like that. Caravan, roll an investigation with advantage for me.
Again, with the making me roll stuff.
I know. I'm so sorry. We'll talk about fan fiction more later.
Nat 2022.
You did
Yo!
so good. So
All right.
as you
I
are,
find Scarlet Breeze, the author, on the book.
Scarlet Breeze is there. You find out it's a pseudonym, but I won't tell you the real name. So you see on the ship that there is actually like someone who has lots of what's the word I'm looking for, saddles and various things for horses, but you also see that there is stuff that is specialized for lizards. They have like an entire like lizard section set up in their like little movable stand that they have. Looks like they brought it with them. You do see that it looks like there's something that is especially made for a frilled riding lizard that should be able to help you with Fancy's frills.
Excellent.
Compatible with the fishnet top Fancy is wearing now.
I think it is, and Fancy could definitely wear both and be extra fancy.
I want to go purchase that, and I also want to get a jar of lizard snacks. Maybe something that's just like tarantula flavored without the trauma of having to carry around tarantulas.
Okay.
Ooh, Animal Crossing.
Zossa will actually buy tarantulas.
You think you'd be able to find all manner of lizard treats at that little stand that is on the ship. Before you get on, you do have to pay your fee, which is the 15 per person. So it's just a flat 15 gold. Make sure you take that out of your inventory.
Lizard gizzards.
And
Sorry.
you are all able to get on the ship. Karen, I imagine you go directly to the purveyor of lizard wares.
Yes.
Okay. So you get over there, and while there is some stuff for horses, it does seem that he has a much bigger selection of lizard wear. And he is actually an Asathi. So, maybe he just likes lizards as kind of a lizard person. You step up, and he's like, "Oh,
It's racial profiling.
Oh boy.
It is.
It's the voice in the sky. You don't know.
And he's like, "Oh, hello, welcome. We're traveling, but I would be happy to show you some of my wares."
Yeah, I will walk up, and I'm looking over at all the lizard goodies, and I will turn. Did you say it was a he?
Yes.
I'll turn to him and I will greet him in Asath. Be like, "It is so nice to see someone here with like stuff for the lizards, and we see a lot of horse things, and a horse is just not as cool."
And he looks a little surprised, and he's like, "Oh, well, not enough people cater to lizards. I think the lizard is a superior riding animal. It's more comfortable than a horse for sure, and it can climb on walls."
It is. They can climb on walls. They're like lower to the ground, so if you fall off, it doesn't hurt as bad, and it's not as embarrassing. And they're not as skittish. They're just better in every way. Also, the basking's really cute.
It is so cute. I have my own riding lizard down in the hold, and when he is basking, it is the cutest thing. What are you looking for? I have harnesses. I have, some more specialty goods. I have treats. I have just about everything you could need for your riding lizard.
Well, I just got my lizard fancy like a couple weeks ago. I think time is a little hard to remember for some reason. But he is already my very best friend, and I think he deserves everything good in this world. And I don't want him to damage his frill. I'm very, he has a lot of feelings, and he flares a lot, if you know what I mean. And I
do.
don't want him to strain his frill. I don't know how I would fix it, and I would be heartbroken.
That is always a little bit complicated when you have the frilled lizards. They have some special needs, and we have to, as good owners, make sure we take care of that. So you're in the right place. He goes over to where he has I keep forgetting the name for just the thing you ride on a horse on. What is that called?
Saddle?
Thank you.
The tack?
Saddle. Specifically just saddle. I cannot remember the name of. Like, I was sitting here like, the thing you ride on the horses with. The thing. Yeah, I don't know. My brain's not here. So you see that he is, there's, beside the saddles, there's all of the lizard, like, saddles and tack and things like that. They're specially fitted for most lizards. But you see he pulls something special off the side. It looks like he only has one or two of them. And he brings it over. It looks like it is a little, like a... trying to think of a good word for it. Kind of like a hood, or it's like kind of like a specialty hood that is made for the frilled lizard to, keep the frills down, make sure they're not getting caught on things, particularly if you're in a busy city or a dangerous scenario. And it's made of a soft, like leather-like material. It would be pretty comfortable for the lizard. It does have some holes in it to make sure that air is getting through so the lizard doesn't get overheated, because a lot of times those frills are meant for thermoregulation, among other things. And he brings it over, and he's like, "Well, I think this is what you are looking for." And he hands it over. I only have a couple. Not too many people need them, but I know how important they are, so I made sure I had a couple. for you, for someone who's speaking my language, I'm gonna give you a bit of a discount here. Usually I charge 60 gold for something like this, but I think I can do with 30 for you. Half off discount.
Half price?
Half price.
You're like the best vendor ever. I gotta tell. So all my friends, except for Marigold, he's a very famous bard. You've probably heard of him. He has a zebra, but everybody else has lizards too. So I'm gonna have to tell them to come down here and check. Well, I mean, he also could come down here, I guess, but he can go anywhere. But I will have them come down and check you out. How much would it be to get a canister of the lizard treats, and then also one of those nicer saddles that looks like it'll hold you in place if they're climbing? Because mine's homemade.
So if for you, for someone who cares about their lizards so much, I'm thinking if we were doing the frill holder for the 30 GP, we had the lizard treats. They're only about 1 GP. But for the specialty saddle, I'll say 45 for that one. It's a full saddle, so.
I mean, that sounds completely reasonable to me. So you're thinking like 76 gold total?
Yeah, that's about right.
I'm completely okay with that. And she will dig around in her pouch and pull out 76 gold, happily hand it over. She's going to pick out the prettiest saddle of the bunch.
You find one that has a very fine leather detailing on it. It has some very nice kind of like water designs on it, as well as just having a couple of not like expensive gems or anything like that, but some like moderately priced little like pretty stones and stuff that are kind of embedded around it.
Okay. Yeah, she's taking that one. I want that one. I think that will suit Fancy best.
A very good choice. He goes and grabs it. He wraps it up for you, actually, like puts it in like a little box and wraps it in some paper. He puts the treats in a little bag and then wraps up the hood as well and puts that in there. And he hands the box over and he's like, one moment. And he writes out a receipt for you, saying how much you paid, where you got it, and listing his shop name down at the bottom and where he's usually located. Right now he's working to set up a shop that is not in his usual place, but he's hoping to have two.
Is this information enough for me to find you by USPS later?
Oh, yes. As long as you have my name and my general location, you should be able to find me. It may struggle a little bit because I could be in any one of these two shops, but they're usually pretty reliable. If it gets lost, it gets to me eventually. There's only one of the Great Lazaro.
Great Lazaro. Beautiful. Amazing.
You don't know if that's his, like, actual name or if that's the name he chose for himself, but that's what he's going
Either way, it's valid and I accept it.
Yeah.
Lazaro, it has been a pleasure doing business with you. I'm going to go put these with Fancy.
And a pleasure doing business with you. He does, like, a deep bow. And he's like, bring your friends.
I'll tell them. And she's going to just happily skip off back over to the rest of her cargo to store her new goods.
All right.
And she will tell her friends about the lizard vendor.
Anyone else looking for anything in particular when you're on the ship? Anything you want to buy or try and buy if there's a vendor available?
I wouldn't mind getting a saddle for Opal, actually.
Okay.
Now that I've seen
That there is a
caravans.
specialty climbing saddle.
Yes, yes.
All right, so you go and you're pretty easily able to find the Great Lazaro from Caravan's directions. He just has like a little place he's set up over on the far corner of the boat. And as you're doing this, the boat is actually starting to take off. So I would like everybody to just roll a con save for me. I just want to see how you're handling the rough waters as they take off.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh, fun times.
Guess we don't like boats.
Nope, you don't like boats. Kai and Marigold, you especially are struggling a little bit on the boat. You're feeling a little bit queasy. It's nothing too awful. It's not like you've been on it too long yet, but you know that you might have a little bit of trouble enjoying yourself on the boat. It might just be, you're going to be a little bit nauseous, but it's nothing debilitating. It is just a river. It's not like you're out on the high seas. But if you were on the high seas, it might be a problem. Something that you're not particularly good at. All right, so Kai, as you go up to the Great Lazaro, he seems to be handling the takeoff quite well. He's probably done this a lot. And he's like, what can I get for you?
Oh, hi. Does your stomach feel a little bit weird?
No, I'm fine, but I'm sure there's others who are struggling. The river isn't kind to all.
Man, I thought I'd be fine since I'm so small and low to the ground, but apparently not. I saw my friend came over and with her saddle, and I actually have a riding lizard as well. She's a little small thing because I'm a little small thing. Do you have a smaller saddle that would maybe fit her?
Yes, I should. I do have some smaller ones. And he's like, "What's your friend? Does she speak Asath?"
Yes, I believe she does. Caravan, she was just over here.
Yes. She's lovely. I would be happy to extend some discounts to you as well. She's fantastic. And he turns around and he starts looking through his saddles. And he's like, yes, a small one. Here, I have a couple different colors. And he pulls out a couple that seem to be size for the smaller lizards, size for a halfling. And he lays them out. One is like a pale gray with like white detailing on it. The other is black with kind of silvery detail on it. And then the last one is more just a standard brown, but it has some nice stones in it, kind of similar to Caravan's.
Let's see. Let's go with the gray and white one.
An excellent choice. He goes and he brings that one over to you specifically, and he's like, this will bring you to about the 45 gold for the saddle itself. Well, this is one of the smaller ones. I'll put it down to 40 for you. Less material.
That's fine. Hold on just a second. Okay.
Oh,
all right,
would you like some water? I have some water.
I have some. I'll drink some in a second. Just got to get my sea legs or river legs. Anyway, yeah, here. And I hand over the 40 gold. For the saddle.
Perfect. He starts packaging it up for you, doing the same box with the nice wrapping. He's like, anything else for you?
Actually, you know what? Let me get some of those treats as well.
Yes. They are 1 gold a jar.
Let me get 2 jars.
2 jars? All right.
Yes.
That would put you to 42 total.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you. He starts writing out a receipt for you as well, giving his name, his shop location, his prospective shop location, and everything that you got as well as the price you paid. He kind of puts that in the box, finishes closing it up, and hands it over.
Thank you. And turns around and immediately grabs her water skin and just starts sipping water as she
you are
very
so
easily
welcome.
mix over there.
Tell them that the Great Lazaro has all the lizard goods you could ever need. And
you.
Oh, thank you. But he goes back to what he's doing, keeping his books, marking down what you guys bought, things like that. Anyone else looking for anything?
Zasa visits too, but she just buys snacks. She just buys a lot of snacks.
Okay, how many jars of snacks?
4 jars of snacks.
Okay, 4 jars of just the little snacks, and then that'd be 4 gold. Do you also try and look for some more dried spiders, things like that, kind of the more solid lizard snacks?
Yeah, none of that artificial spider.
Okay, so if you're looking for the full jars, the full spiders and things like that, those jars are a little bit bigger. 4 jars would cost just a little bit more. It would be 4.5 gold, so 4 gold, 5 silver, just to get the full lizard, or I almost said full lizard pieces. No, he's not selling lizard pieces. The full
Yikes.
spiders. Instead
Fucking
of
traumatizing.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, he's an Asathi selling lizard pieces.
Don't like it.
Nope, don't like it. Oh goodness. So it costs a little bit more, but you're able to get like the full chunks of spider and just like full spiders and things like that. Yours are also probably some like dried rats and things. You know,
I'm not
what
sure I like that either.
What a lizard would like to eat. You know, giant lizard.
Delicious.
Delicious. And he's like, yes. Wonderful choice. Your lizard will love that. And he's also
Yeah, my lizard.
I have to recommend the dried tarantulas are quite tasty.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, he writes you a receipt as well, hands it over. And he's like,
Thank you.
well, come back to the Great Lazaro anytime. I have so many lizard goods, I don't know what to do with them. I feel like the Great Lazaro, like, is part of a circus, and you just don't know it. He's a circus barker. All right. Anyone looking for anything else? Or are you just gonna go try and relax?
A bucket.
A bucket? Okay. You're able to find a bucket. You're able to kind of just sit in the corner with your bucket and probably look kind of sad. But another person on the ship comes up to you, and it's actually a little girl. And she
Hello.
tugs on your sleeve, and she's like,
Yep. What's up?
Are you not feeling good?
No, Boats and I really just don't agree.
That happens to my mommy.
I'm so sorry for her.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on. And
Okay.
you see her kind of like run off. It looks like she's probably about like 7, maybe. And she runs off and she comes back with a little bottle. And she's like, so, I told my mom that you weren't feeling good, and if you know anybody else who's not feeling good too, I can tell you where she got this. But here, and she hands it over. It's a little bottle that it has like kind of like a viscous liquid in it. And she's like, so you drink that, and it should help. You know, it might taste a little bit yucky. My mom always makes a face like this when she drinks it, but then she feels better. So it'll help. And if you need more, it's over there. And you see that there's like another stall for another vendor, and it's just like a potions vendor that's over there. It looks like you can probably get more of whatever this like anti-sickness potion is.
Well, thank you so much. That's
You're
very,
welcome.
very, very kind of you. You know what? Actually, here, take this with you.
Oh, it's so
Mer-
pretty.
Marigold will actually undo the silk flower that he has been wearing in his hair if I can manage it. Rune's fingers are not working properly. I did just get this set up. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, take this with you, and you can wear it in your hair, all right?
For me?
Yeah, of course. I've got like 30 of them. Here you go.
Oh, it's so pretty. Thank you. And you
Yeah.
see her like clutch it to her chest, and she runs off. One thing you did notice about her is that although she had elven features, it looks like she might be someone who could be like a half elf, half something else. There was something kind of strange about the way she looked, but she was still incredibly cute. And now she has your flower. You see her actually run over to her mom, and her mom is an elven woman who is like putting the little flower in her hair. And she like jumps up and down once it's done.
What sort of elf is her mother?
Her mother is actually a Drendali elf.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Marigold will actually pause for a moment and kind of do a little bit of a double take and look across the boat to her and kind of lift the potion in sort of a weird toast.
And she, you know, kind of nods back, does a little bow. And you think probably the reason why you got the potion is because she felt a kinship with you.
Even with the pink hair, that paleness and the weird eyes are pretty
Yeah,
easy to spot.
You stood out to somebody else who knew what to look for.
Great.
But you don't see the other parent of the child anywhere, so they could be somewhere else on the ship, or maybe they're not with them on this journey. But yeah, the little girl, she looked like she was part Drendali elf, and then probably something else.
I will take a sip of this liquid. It probably tastes awful.
It does. It tastes absolutely disgusting. It tastes like kind of like burnt grass and like licorice. It's like burnt grass and licorice with like a weird kind of musky undertone. It's probably one of the grossest things you've ever eaten. But you're able to keep it down. And you feel it takes a little bit, because at first you're like, this is disgusting and I just want to, vom because of it. But once it gets down into your stomach, it starts to settle a little bit, you realize, hey, I actually feel better. I no longer feel like I'm going to puke my guts out.
Great.
Yep. And you do know that there is a vendor who could help out the rest of the party as well with this problem.
Right. Did I notice in my illness anyone else in the party struggling? I think Kai was one of them, yes?
Yeah, so Kai was struggling, and then I think it might have just been you and Kai.
Was it?
Yeah, it's just you and Kai who are really struggling.
All right, I'll go buy another bottle of that potion, however much it is, and I'm going to go find Kai.
It's 5 silver. It's not very expensive, but it is a little bit pricey for a bottle of really gross juice.
Right, yeah, no, where's Kai? I am looking for a very small tin can.
I am downstairs fitting Opal, actually trying to fit Opal with the saddle.
That's the worst place you can be if you're seasick, by the way, is underneath the boat.
I don't know that.
Oh boy.
And so at this point, not doing a very good job with the saddle, because I'd probably throw it up at some point already at this point.
Oh boy, where's Zasa and Caravan? Wow.
That's a good question. I think Caravan dropped off her stuff and then has probably skittered off to find a seat somewhere up on the deck where she can see the river and sit down and just, look through her ass league sheets.
Bye.
You're having a good time looking through the ass league sheets. You're learning all about the stats. You're learning about the some new players in the game. There's some up-and-comers who are looking pretty good. It's a good time. You're getting some sun, just kind of basking out there, enjoying the cool river air on your face. You're having a good time.
Caravan likes to read about the ass rookies. It's always a highlight every season.
Yeah, there's some really promising rookies this year.
Excellent. Can't wait for tourney time.
Yes. The All-Star Squatters League tournaments. They're the highlight. They're the highlight.
Some new squatting techniques as well.
Yeah, they're trying some really ingenious things. They're really upending the league. All right, so Marigold comes to find you, Kai, and he comes bearing one of the little potion bottles, if he gives it to you, it's gonna be just as disgusting tasting.
No, I'll come down the stairs and kind of poke my head down. I don't come all the way down because, of course not. But Kai, what are you doing with that lizard?
Oh, I was trying to see if the saddle fit, real quick, but it's not going so well.
Why don't you come up here? The air's a little cleaner. And this is a potion. I don't know what happened to my accent there. It just went absolutely sideways. Anyway, there's this potion. There we are. It tastes like absolute dog shit, but it will help your stomach settle down if you do come upstairs.
Okay, yeah. And I kind of leave the saddle like partly on. Like, okay, I need something. So
no, you're gonna want to chase it. I'll actually hand you like a little water skin of like mint tea or something, because Marigold always has something nice to drink on him. Yeah,
Okay.
just chase it with that because you're gonna need it. Really, it's vile, but it does help. So here, this is for you. This is for you. Where's Zossa? Okay, I think that's Kevin up there. Where's Zossa? I'm probably reading, but
All right, so Kai, just roll me a Constitution, so we can see how well you drink this.
oh boy.
I'm
Kai
scared.
does have the chaser. Kai does have a
You
chaser.
do have a chaser. You do have a chaser. So I would like to say you do have advantage for this because you have that chaser.
Okay.
You
All
and
right.
you know it's bad going right out of the gate. You know it's really bad.
Oh,
No!
Oh.
So you drink it. Oh boy, do you drink it. You even tried doing the chaser. And you get it down, but it's a close thing. You're kind of like doing like the... and you need to take like a half hour just like sitting down, like processing this. It still works, but it was so disgusting to you that you don't know if you can ever drink this potion again, whatever it is. It'll be a struggle. You'll to put it in terms for gamifying it, you'll be at disadvantage next time you have to drink this, or
Fun times.
just flat even if you have a chaser, because it's just, this is giving you like really bad
Traumatizing.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
I'm traumatized.
It is
Oh,
literally
no.
the worst thing you've tasted in your life.
I'm so sorry.
But it does work. You take about a half hour and you start to feel a lot better. You no longer you have your river legs now. You can probably go and get we'll all set up with that harness and with that new saddle without any trouble now that you're not ready to barf.
Question.
Yes.
Can 5th edition prestidigitation still flavor things?
Let me check.
Yes, it can.
So yes, if it can, if in the future you could use prestidigitation,
You could
to
make it not taste like.
Absolute ass.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No.
Yeah.
Unless you like the show.
Yes. So you could, in the future, use prestidigitation, or have someone use prestidigitation to make this not taste awful, and you'd be fine. It's just,
Okay.
it tastes really bad. This is the worst thing that's ever, like, you've ever imbibed.
It's like children's aspirin with like cat piss undertones. Sorry, that was probably really gross.
It's really specific. I'm a little concerned.
All right. So, Zasa, while all this is going on, what are you doing?
Feeding the lizards.
Okay, you're just hanging out with the lizards, feeding them, chilling. Straight up chilling with those lizards. All right.
Just vibing.
I mean, they don't
Zasa
get
just
to.
watching Kai struggle and like chuckling to herself and giving them food.
Salsa's watching Kai and taking notes. Subject vomited a second time.
Yeah.
No, she's hanging out with the lizards because they don't get to go above deck, so they don't get the cool view.
Oh, that's nice of you.
What a nice thing to do.
So the lizards really appreciate it. They feel a little bit more warmly towards you, especially your lizard. And you also find that the lizards love these treats. Like, they are really digging them. Lazaro the Great has some really great treats. So they are just incredibly pleased. The lizards are happy. They don't so much mind they're down below deck because they have someone to hang out with and they have great food. So they're pretty happy. And I would say that Shaho has probably been spending most of this time up on top of the deck, basking in the sun, while hanging out in the box she has. She's just enjoying herself. She's getting a kick out of this. So it's going to be a very nicely sun-warmed Manticora by the time you all get to the plains.
Sun-warmed Manticora.
All right. Is there anything else anyone wanted to do? Other than that, it would just be a day-long journey where you can just kind of rest, relax, catch up on your reading.
Do we get a long rest?
Yes, this would be a long rest.
Great.
Because you have the whole day just to kind of chill. You can sleep if you want. You can just have a good meal. You know, you're able to kind of do what you like on this day-long river adventure.
Marigold will eventually go in and check in on the zebra, just to make sure he's all right. Beyond that, he spends most of his time above decks trying not to be ill.
Okay. The zebra seems a little bit irritated to be down below deck. kind of stamping his foot, making the weird zebra sound. But you going down to hang out with him makes him feel a little bit better. I imagine you probably sing to him, you know, calm him down. And by the time you leave, he's just kind of relaxing as much as a zebra can relax below deck.
I don't have my bardic abilities yet, do I?
No, I think you would. You would at least, for sake of you probably needing them this session. When you left, you were given by Brant a little packet of information. Enough that was, kind of gives you a base idea of abilities. You kind of have, some information already. Enough that you would be able to try out some of your new skills.
Delightful.
It would be the first time doing it for you, though, so...
I will go upstairs and use Whisper of the Heart on Kevin.
Okay.
And just, Kevin, this is an interesting sort of thing. In the back of your head, you will hear, "Hello, what you reading?" Just the smuggest marigold voice you've ever heard.
Do I get any kind of save against having a voice pop into my head, or is this
That's
just
up to
happening?
the DM, actually.
Basically, the voice does just pop up in your head, but you know exactly where it's coming from, and you can sever it. You can just be like, "Whoa, hey there," and make it go away. So you would still hear it, but you could make it go away instantly if you don't want it there.
I think Caravan is like reading a column about the different Ass League teams and their projected performance this year. She's really into it, and she hears this voice, and she just, what is that? What was that, Hitomi?
Is that a lizard?
Oh, I love it!
Just a small thing there. So she kind of stops her reading and looks up just a little bit, doesn't move her head, but just her gaze goes up. And she looks around. Are you doing some weird telepathy shit right now, Marigold?
No, I'm totally not doing a weird telepathy thing. Of course I am. Hello.
Hi, you could just come use your words with me. Or is there like a fan? She puts her papers down. Is there like a fan here you're trying to avoid, actually?
No, I just wanted to see if I could do it or not, and you seem the least likely to have a panic attack if I did.
I think that's a compliment coming from you.
You seem very
Thank
calm.
you. Now please get out of my head.
Yeah, I can't hear anything unless you want me to. So, just so you know. Bye. Oof.
Bye.
Great.
So, Caravan, you now have the feeling that Marigold can communicate telepathically with the party. But it is completely up to the person being communicated with whether they want it to continue. The first thing they will always hear, just because, it's...
Hello!
Yeah, it's happening right then and there. But after that, they can be like, "Whoa, hey, no, get out of there." And you can force him out. So,
It's like a cat jumping on the counter. You can't stop it from happening, but you got a squirt bottle.
Yeah.
So if I put aluminum foil around my head,
or you could just be like, "Hey, don't do this again," and Marigold would never do it again because he's not an asshole.
Yeah. So if you tell Marigold not to, he wouldn't.
Not that sort of an asshole.
I feel unless it was a life or death situation.
So Caravan was replying out loud.
Okay.
I don't know if that made a difference at all. She has no idea how any of this works, and the discussion will probably have to be had with her about basic instructions.
Delightful.
But yeah, so it's something to discuss, something to know. Marigold can now talk to you all in your heads, but Caravan is the only one who knows this so far. And it's always a discussion that the party can have. To make sure you're not all surprised if it happens.
Marigold will go around trolling people in the party though.
Oh, of
So
course he will.
He'll make his way around. So he'll creep over to Shaho and just go the back of her head.
Oh no.
I imagine she like does like that thing that cats do when they're startled, where all their fur goes like.
But will not like actually harass anybody.
He's just testing out his new ability.
I got a thing.
But yeah, that is the first thing that you learned from your little packet that Brant gave you. It basically explains how you would do that, you know, the steps that are required, what you're doing internally to make that happen, and basically the rules within it. I see yourself, like, clicking everywhere. Yeah. I'm looking at the document as well, so.
Yeah.
And you know that it'll take a little bit of practice, but you now know that you can communicate with anybody that you can see within 60 feet of you. If you don't share a language, it's just emotional intent. And then the creature does not have to be friendly to you, and they can sever it immediately if they like.
Fuck off!
Yeah, once they know what's happening, of course. They can't stop you beforehand just because
Cat on the table.
they don't know. Yeah. But yeah. Alrighty, so the rest of the day is just basically spent traveling down. You all get some relaxation in. You do what you will. You read your ass league statistics, or your letters from Jessel, or letters to Jessel.
Letters to Jessel.
Letters to Jessel. Zasa, you hang out with the lizards, and Marigold, you are practicing all of your different abilities, and just hanging out. Right now, we're going to take a quick break so you all can get up and get drinks and everything, and then we'll be back, and you'll be arriving in the Perforated Plains. So let me just get that away thing here.
We didn't get attacked by a cross promotion.
Not today. All right, I'm transferring us over right now. We'll be back soon. Bye. Be back soon.
Bye. want to know.
Well, you get to know because we're back.
Shit.
All right. So,
It's happening.
welcome back, everybody.
It's happening.
We're back. We're live. Our break is over. We're done being humans, and now we're back to being D&D machines. As you know, you get to enjoy the rest of the time on your ship, but as you get to the end of the trip that you were taking, you know, the port that you were supposed to be getting to, that little hub, you do see it in the distance, and you notice that on the other side of the river it's looking pretty like dry and kind of beat up. It looks, you know, you can tell that what you know of the perforated plains, you can tell that while you're not directly in them yet, it is basically on the other side of that river, and you are going to be basically right up in there once you get out of the off the boat. So you're all able to the boat stops. You get to the little like gangplank that lets you off. And you are the only people who are getting off on this side of the river. Everybody else is going to the other side, anybody else who's getting off. And you see that on the other side there is a, like kind of like a, not like a town, but like an outpost, where there is, you know, lots of traders, lots of merchants. And as you're getting off, you do see that there is a bird heading your way. It flies over and stops next to Zasa.
Interesting.
So the bird, you know, is holding out. You know, it has a little scroll. It you know, hops over to you, letting you take the scroll off, and then does the thing that all the USPS birds do, which is stick out its little leg with the little coin pouch that's on it for payment.
Would you like a bit of tarantula?
The bird does like a cute little chirp and then eats the tarantula piece. But it still wants a little coin. So
Yeah, of course.
yeah. So you know, you pay the bird, and then you open up the scroll, I assume.
Yes.
Inside, you see that it is your acquaintance, your research acquaintance, getting back to you on the flying plant pot thing, and what was his name again?
Tarvish.
Tarvish, yes. So Tarvish, he gets back to you and he's like, yes, I have just the thing. Oh, I not many people are interested in it because it's a little bit weird. I really haven't tested it out in the field yet, but if you're interested in trying it out, I'd be happy to send it along. I'm sure it can get to you. You know, just you send me your coordinates, and I can send the experiment along, and it'll meet you there.
Easy enough.
And then it goes down, and it's like, the only thing I ask in return is you give me back extensive field notes on how it works, how well it works, what's it doing, if there's any issues, okay?
Oh, obviously.
Okay, so you reply back, you know, give your coordinates, and, or where you know, the basic coordinates. Anything else you...
Probably ask, Kervin, or maybe Kai. Where? How far do you think that we'll be able to get today?
That's a Shaho question, I think.
That is a Shaho question. I will roll survival for Shaho, so we can see if Shaho knows.
I don't know things about distances.
Okay, so Shaho takes a look at the map that you were all given by Sina. The map that you're given by Sina, and she you know, takes a look and she's like, well, we have the lizards, and we you know, we're trying to get to you know, near the sinkhole of Nam, but not quite there. I think by the end of the day, we'd be reaching the end of the spires. So we'd be almost to the sinkhole where we need to be outside of it, but not quite. And she marks down like a little area on the map and you're able to figure out the coordinates from there. It's not exact. It will be a little bit off, but you think it's probably good enough for what your friend has in mind.
Okay, I'll write that down and use that as a coordinate to send back.
All right. So you send them back. You give back to the bird, and the bird flies off, going back the way it came. You see it kind of in the distance. You imagine that you might be able to expect the experiment to arrive by morning at that location. It's probably a pretty good guess. All right. So you is there anything you want to do before you start in on your journey? Anything you want to do before you actually start, like, get into the plains?
Saddle up my lizard.
All right. You saddle up your lizard.
Get everything packed in, ready to go.
Saddle up the zebra.
Take 10 minutes to ritual cast Unseen Cartographer.
Okay. So when you're doing Unseen Cartographer, that gives you a map, essentially, correct?
Mhm.
Okay, and it tells you anything that's on the way that could be construed as, like, a feature, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it doesn't have supernatural senses. It just basically just automatically generates a map of our location and travels.
Okay. So what you learn from the Unseen Cartographer is that there is not quite a well-beaten path, but there is a path that you will be able to follow, at least to get to the more general area of the plains. You'll be walking by the fouled forest. There isn't too much in the way of specific dangers as long as you stay out of the fouled forest. But you do see that there's some places on the map where there's marks that look like butterflies. That you can probably guess are marking where there might be areas that are more prone to having the blood moths that you read about being there.
Okay, well.
Okay, so that's what you learned from that. You saddle up your lizards, your zebra, get them all ready to go. You're able to start traveling. The travel is pretty easy now that you all have mounts. You're able to kind of go at the appropriate pace. It's not too hard. But as you are traveling, you see... Let me just get here. Here we go. You see that one of the areas on the map that Zasa made did show the blood moths. And you can see them in the distance now. You see that there is not quite a flock, because that's not really the right word for moths, but there's a group of blood moths that are kind of flitting around in the distance. They are, landing on various things. You see one, like, eat a rat. But in general, they're not really bothering you. Do you do anything to interact with them, or do you avoid them?
I think we should probably go around.
Yeah, Caravan's vote is not to fuck with the bugs that are eating rats.
No.
Unless, would the lizards like them?
How big are they?
They are pretty big. They are... Give me just a moment here. Boop. So, they are... about the size of you. They're pretty much being sized. The size of most of you all. Probably bigger than Kai, actually. They're pretty large. If anyone wants to roll a survival, I'll also have Shaho roll one. Maybe you can learn a little bit more about these.
I'll try, I
Just
guess.
take off with Kai.
Natural one.
Right? I'm all. I try to get smaller so they can't, like.
Thank goodness for Zasa.
We got the extremes covered.
Okay, yeah, Zasa. I also would accept a nature if anyone wants to try and roll a nature.
No.
either works, but in this case, we're just doing survival here.
I'm better at nature, but I don't think I'm going to beat that roll.
Yeah, I don't think you will either. That's a good roll. Okay, so what you remember, Zasa, about the blood moths, because you did do some reading on them, and you're like, well, the blood moths are giant moths, as you can all see, that have been they've been infected by Titan blood. They can understand Titan speech, but they aren't particularly intelligent. They're non-aggressive, but they will attack if threatened. They usually travel in groups of 3 or 4, hunting small animals and large bugs. The most important thing to your survival that you recall is that they inject a poison from their proboscis that can paralyze their prey.
Yeah, Zasa relays that to the rest of the party.
So what you're saying is avoid.
They probably won't come hunting for us, but unless we really want to do field research, we should probably avoid them.
Forgive me for not wanting to stop.
We do have more pressing things.
That's true.
I just don't want to be touched by anyone's proboscis.
And I don't want to be like taken and flown away. So let's go around.
Not and say we did, right?
No.
It'll make a lovely theoretical song.
All right, so you are able to.
Baby blood moths. Okay.
You are able to easily avoid them. They are not coming at you like Zasa. Remember, they are non-aggressive. They're not going to try and hunt humans. They're too big. It's not what they're built for. But if you had attacked them, they would have fought back and might not have been too kind to y'all. So as you keep traveling, you encounter some kind of like rents and fissures that are in the ground. The ground seems kind of unstable, but with Zasa's map, you are able to kind of find the best route to take. You think if you didn't have it, you might have been in a little bit more danger trying to travel through this area. But having that extra map, with the unseen cartographer kind of mapping it out for you, you are given a better idea of what to expect, and you're able to avoid the worst of it. It is slow going though. It's just kind of a lot of walking. Can everybody give me a Constitution save?
Ah!
I have not done good with these today.
Holy shit, Zasa.
Zasa, it is your day. I remember last time where you couldn't roll literally anything.
It's me.
Look at
It's me
Marigold.
today.
So, Marigold, you're just feeling kind of worn down by this trek. You were pretty well rested before all this happened, but this is just a lot of walking on pretty difficult terrain. You have the map, which making it easier, but you are just kind of tired out by it. There's no real effect by this. There's not a mechanical effect. You just know that this is hard travel for you. Zasa, for some reason, you are killing this. You are, don't do that much hard terrain walking, but for some reason, maybe you're just so interested in the terrain, you're not noticing how difficult it is. And Kai, you're doing really well as well. Your armor isn't weighing you down. You feel great. And Caravan, you're doing pretty okay. It's a little bit dry for you. You're wishing there was, some more water. The air's kind of tepid. But you still feel okay. So Marigold, you're just kind of worn down, but you're still mechanically okay.
I'm gonna get on my zebra.
Okay, so you're gonna ride your zebra.
Yep. At walking speed with the rest of the party.
Okay.
Put the parasol up.
That's a good mental image. I love it. So you all keep traveling. Either riding your lizards, not riding your lizards. You have to get off them at some points in time. just to kind of go single file through more difficult areas. But with the map, you're able to kind of tell where you're going, where you need to do that. But it kind of drags on. It's a very slow and kind of boring journey so far. There's not much to look at. I mean, it's just all kind of dead and gross looking. The ground is torn up. There are big fissures in the ground. But as the day is kind of waning into night, you see something up in the distance. As darkness starts to fall, you see a wagon laden with goods silhouetted by the setting sun. Beside it, a small campfire has been constructed, and a pair of hooded figures seem to be bedding down for the night. I'd like you all to roll perception checks for me. Okay. Okay. So, let's see. Kai, you had higher, correct? Or no, Kai had lower, Marigold had higher. Okay. So, Kai, you think it seems pretty, weird and pretty foolish, for this, this trade wagon to be traveling without guards, in an area this dangerous. It's known for having Vangalite raiders. As you learned, there are the, groups of, Vangalite worshipping manticoras around here. It just seems strange that they would be traveling without any guards or anything like that. But maybe the pair there are seasoned fighters. You can't really tell from here if they seem prepared to defend themselves. And then Marigold, you notice that the wagon seems too heavy for the single horse that's carrying it, pulling it. You think that there should be more horses, even one more, because it has a lot of stuff on it, and one horse pulling it through this difficult terrain, it just seems a little bit strange to you. Everybody notices that the hooded figures have their faces covered. So it may be, that they are lepers or something like that. There are leper colonies in Skarn. Or they could be trying to hide their identities. You don't really know why they would be wearing these face coverings.
Does anybody see this weird cart?
Yeah, no, it's actually there's too much stuff on that cart for only one horse. I say we keep.
Maybe it's magical.
It might be.
Yeah.
Might be an illusory card. It might be a magical card. It might be that they've lost the horse.
What if they have a ghost horse that's helping pull? Ooh.
I don't know. Zasa, do you know anything about ghost horses?
They're not renowned for their hauling capabilities, although it's theoretically possible. You'd have to weave very specific force magics to allow something that is spectral to bear weight and to transport goods, but it's theoretically possible.
Or maybe, I don't know, they had two horses and now they only have one.
In which case, they might like it if we took some stuff off of their hands.
You want to rob them?
No.
No, I
Maybe
mean
you want
we
to trade with them.
like if
To
they
trade.
have if they have goods for trade, then they.
But if we're trading, aren't we giving them more stuff to make up for the stuff we're taking?
Well, we'd be trading gold for whatever they have, and gold is the more compact, depending on what they have.
Okay.
It'd be better than if they just left their goods in the desert.
I don't know. It seems a little.
Are we kind of gonna meet each other, or are they going sort of in a different, what's that layout?
They are in the distance to you, not super far away. You could reach them before darkness actually fell. But they are at the moment settled down for the night. They set up a fire. They're not going anywhere, so you can completely avoid them if you like. They don't seem like they're gonna stop you, but they are kind of off in the distance, close enough that you could gather what you gathered from them. But you would actually have to go up to them to interact. Otherwise, you can just keep walking.
Do you want to go say hi? They're wearing masks, and that's usually a bad sign to me.
Well, they do have a fear. No, I don't know that we should interact with them. We can walk past, and if they call out to us, we'll help them. But it seems like this is a rather unfriendly place. So.
Okay. Just make sure to keep an eye out at watch tonight.
Exactly. Kai,
Yeah.
Zasa, what are your opinions?
Yeah, I think we can, try to avoid them if they, hail us, then we can go over. But I don't really see a good reason to actually go over there.
Be ready for a fight, yeah. So
I
definitely
would assume that if they're in distress, then if they see us, they'll call out for help. And if they're not actually in distress, then they'll either leave us alone or attack us. So we'll find out sooner or later.
That's fair. Right.
All right, so you're gonna keep your distance, but you're not necessarily gonna go out of your way. You're just gonna pass by and see if they try and interact with you first. Is that what I'm gathering? Okay.
We're letting them make the first move.
Okay.
Playing it cool.
So as you're passing, you kind of get to the point where you're closest to them without passing them up entirely. You do see one of the pair stand up from the fire, and the cloaked figure holds up a hand and does kind of hail you. When he calls out, his speech is kind of broken. He is speaking Ledian, but it doesn't seem like it's his first language by any means. And he calls out, do you have a coin?
Yeah, of course.
He just asked for a coin, so I'm either they're trying to get us to come near for something nefarious, or they actually do need help.
Toss a coin to these bandits.
I'm gonna call back to them. Why?
Our wagon is too heavy. We have goods to trade.
Yeah, all right. Going on.
Seems legit to me.
Right. Trying to incite this guy.
From the SWAR? Yeah.
I mean, body language, do the others seem to be
They seem
reaching for weapons? Anything like that?
they seem normal to me.
So,
Lord.
yeah, Marigold, if you could just give me an insight check. Oh, there you go.
I think the math on that is right. I don't know. It's double my proficiency bonus to the check. Is that
I
in
think
there?
It says +5.
Yeah, I'm proficient, so that would
No.
give me a 2 + 1, and then double my proficiency bonus is another
Yeah.
2, so it's +5. Okay, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, Sasa, you think everything is completely fine. Marigold and Kai, you're getting kind of a strange feeling. But they aren't.
Sus.
It's a little bit suspicious, but they aren't reaching for weapons. And now that you've gotten a little bit closer, you don't even see any weapons on them. Which is a little weird, but they don't even seem to be carrying weapons.
Yeah, all right. Let's just wander closer, but not too close, all right?
Okay. Go about, 30 feet out right now?
Yeah, I'd say that you're close. You were close enough to be heard by them, and to
Yeah.
see them close enough that you could tell they don't seem to be wearing weapons of any sort.
All right.
Okay.
Let's get in about 30 feet. See what happens.
So you get a little bit closer, and the one that spoke to you calls out again, and he's like, "I am Corin, and this is Cameron. We were hoping to travel through the night, but our horse grew weary. Our cart, it's too full.
Where are you heading?
We are leaving the plains, trying to get to the river."
Okay, well, we're not too far. We just came from there.
All right.
Why don't you have another horse?
And Corin pauses, and he's like, "The other one was taken by a, he pauses, like he's searching for the word and can't find it. A large spider, deeper in the plains.
Like this?
No, like
Or
many
like
legs.
this?
Many legs.
Well, that seems terrible.
Yeah, all right.
And now that you're closer, you can. I'd like you all to roll an investigation for me.
Investigation.
You can also roll a nature.
12.
A nature if that's better for you.
Neither are good for me.
Okay. So if you want to replace that investigation with a nature, you can. But let's see.
It's gonna be about the same. I
Yeah.
think I'll check it. Let's see.
Marigold is a bit of a himbo.
He is a bit of a himbo. That's okay. We like
nature,
himbos.
nature. Oh, it's not gonna be. Probably much better.
He's not muscly enough to be a himbo.
He's a wiry himbo.
Mm.
Okay, so for Marigold and Caravan, you notice that the horse they do have doesn't look well. It seems kind of sickly. I mean that could be due to the fact that it's pulling a cart that's too heavy for it, but you don't really know. It just doesn't look well.
All right. Actually,
Do
and
you...
I'll take. Yeah, I'll approach.
Okay.
What's
I'll go with.
What's wrong with your horse? Is it just tired?
Oh, yes. It was very tired. And now that you're closer, you can roll another insight.
Sure. Honk. Yo, 23.
Nice.
Where'd my insight go? Oh, here it is.
Zasa still
How
doesn't
far
notice
away are we?
anything.
But are we within like 10, 15 feet now?
Yeah, I'd say you're probably like within 10 feet. So you can even move yourselves. You should be able to, like, to put yourself where you would like, within 10 feet.
I'm up in front.
And now that you're, kind of within the firelight, you see that they are covered, basically head to toe. Corin's mouth is kind of muffled when he speaks. Beyond him, not seeming to speak Ledian as his first language. And then you still don't see any weapons. There's no weapons on either of them. The one named Cameron doesn't speak at all. He won't say anything. Marigold.
I would like to, if I can jump in.
Yes.
So part of my features for being a little Titan blood sea creature is I can see really far in the dark. I can see 120 feet in the dark, and it's full color, just like normal daylight for me.
Okay.
So with me being not hindered by the darkness at all, are there any other little details that I can pick out, like maybe a pin with an insignia of something, or something strange inside the cart, or just something that might seem a little off?
Or a third or fourth member of the group.
You don't see anybody else around. It seems like you are the only ones here with Corin and Cameron. But you do think you see something kind of weird in the cart. Like, you see like a glint of metal. That could be a lot of things, but it does seem kind of out of place. Like, it looks like it may be armor or something like that, and it seems weird that there'd just be stray armor in the cart.
Interesting. Okay.
And Marigold, with your insight, you can tell that Corin isn't being completely honest with you when he says that the other horse was taken by a spider, or when he says that the other horse is the horse he has now is just tired. I mean, it is tired, but that's not really all that's going on. You don't know what's going on, but there's a underlying something to his tone that doesn't ring completely true.
I have a dumb idea.
Okay. What's your dumb idea?
I want to talk to the horse.
Yeah, you can talk to the horse.
Cool.
Snort once if you're under duress.
I need you to blink SOS.
Right.
We don't share a language, I don't think.
No, you.
I could try. Oh well, I could try Sylvan actually.
You can try Sylvan.
I will try Sylvan first.
Okay.
And ask it if it is sick, or if it is in pain.
So the horse can't really speak. It's a horse. But yeah, it makes kind of some horsey noises, and you see like Corin watching you from the distance. Like he doesn't really know what you're saying. It just seems like you're talking to the horse. Unless, are you doing this in your head?
I'm doing this telepathically.
Okay,
I am communicating telepathically with the horse.
Okay, just okay. So the horse doesn't really speak, but you get this feeling of fear and like being really like tired and of illness, of like sickness. But the biggest thing is fear. The horse is really afraid.
That's weird. Okay.
So, Caravan, knowing that there's something in the cart that you can't quite make sense of, do you try and get closer to take a look, or?
Yeah, she scooted over a little bit. I think I would like to try to keep scooting over. I haven't been rolling insight for her because, as far as she's concerned, what they've said seems legit. It's exactly the scenario that was suggested to her as the good thing that could be happening. So she's like, great. But she is going to go over here because she's thinking maybe they have weapons or armor for sale. Those would be heavy. That would weigh down the cart. So she's just going to scoot over here and try not to touch the sick, gross horse and just kind of peer inside and see if she can get a better view of what she glimpsed out the corner of her eye before.
Bodies in there.
Okay, so roll me an investigation check, please. Anybody who's trying to look in the cart. So, Kai, you're trying to look in there as well.
Always with the rolling of dice.
Yeah. You gotta roll those dice.
Focused on the horse.
Okay, so Caravan got a 13. Kai, if you're trying to look in, roll.
I'm not.
Okay, you're standing over there. Okay.
My eyes are on the two guys.
Okay, you're keeping an eye on them. Probably a
Yeah.
good idea. So, I mean, what? Nothing's going on. I don't know. So Caravan, even with a 13, given your fantastic eyesight in the dark, you're able to see a lot. What you see is that the armor back there is made of metal, and it looks like a full plate of some sort, but it looks to be sized or shaped for an iron bread. It looks like it's probably worth a lot of money, but it's kind of weird that they would have it in the back of the cart. It doesn't quite look like it's ready for sale. It has kind of like a weird greenish, blackish kind of like gunk inside of it. That would have to be cleaned out before they were trying to sell it. You keep looking, and you see that there's more in there. There's also some swords, or at least one sword, and a crossbow, that are in there that they haven't armed themselves with, even though night's approached, and that is, you should really arm yourself if you're going to be setting a watch. But they just have a sword and some crossbows in the back that they're not wearing.
Caravan will see all this, and then she'll turn back to the group. Did you guys find, like, an old battle site or something? It looks like you picked up some weapons and armor. That's really heavy.
Oh, yes. We found a party that had been ambushed. We were able to salvage some armor and weapons, but we're not really, good at using them. It wouldn't have fit us, so we didn't try them on or anything.
That makes sense.
Anyone...
Do you know what they got? Sorry, not to interrupt, but it's like gross. Do you know what they died from?
There is a lot of gross things in the plains. It could have been a type of bug or something like that.
A bug that makes you gooey?
Yeah, it could be. Anyone who wants to roll insight can.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that, but I also want to ask them what this party that had been ambushed looked like.
The people who are missing were a manticora, a half-elf, a halfling, and then Tema and Pip, whose heritage I didn't catch.
Yeah.
I think they were humans?
Yeah, they were humans.
Human
Okay,
siblings, two one's a half-elf, half manticore.
Marigold, with your insight, it's very good. You know that they are definitely lying. Corin is not speaking the truth at all. And he's seeming kind of nervous now that you're all questioning him. You see that he moves a little bit closer, but he doesn't quite close the distance. Like, you don't know exactly what he's doing, but he is shifting around. And you see Cameron move closer to the wagon, which is removing the fire from being between him and Kai. And Caravan, as you ask about the party, was it you who asked about the party?
I did.
Oh, Kai. So you asked. So Kai, you asked them about the party that they stumbled upon, and Corin's like, well, one of them was an Ironbred. I believe. He had been taken down by whatever the weird goo bug was. The others, oh, I don't know. I think there might have been an elf. Yeah, there was a few of them.
Could you even tell, really, or were they all gooed?
Were pretty gooey. We could really only tell based on what was left, the armor and some other trinkets that we picked up.
How did you guys avoid becoming goo?
No, well, we're all covered.
Oh.
That's a good call.
That was a collective party head tilt, by the way.
Yeah, I know. It was like,
what?
No, Caravan's into it. She's gonna wander back over to Zasa. Zasa, do you have those robes that Gregor gave us? Could I have one?
Sure.
I will telepathically ping Kai.
yeah, and then I'll telepathically back. Yes.
Sorry, they're lying. I don't know what about, but they're definitely lying. This isn't what it seems. We should probably leave.
I'm with you on that one.
As you two are talking, Corin actually, steps a little closer and tries to reach out and touch your shoulder, Marigold. And he's like, well, sit and stay a while. We have goods to trade, and you have coin. We can, make a good situation for the rest of us.
Do you know what? That's very kind of you, but we are in a hurry. And we're very well outfitted already. We just didn't know if you had anything we hadn't gotten already. I could see to your horse before we go.
Oh, well, I mean, that would be great. If you can, help it. It's certainly very stressed out being here.
Yes, no, it does seem quite ill. So if you don't mind, I'll just go.
Oh, yes, of course. Go tend to the horse. He lets go of your shoulder, and you're able to walk towards the horse. As you do, what is your, do you have night vision?
Oh, no.
I do.
Okay. As you're, going to tend to the horse, you're able to see inside the wagon as well, and you're taller than
Yes.
Caravan is, so you have a bit of a better view inside. You can see more than just the armor that was down there.
Yep.
You see a discarded doll with elven features and orcish tusks that is slumped in the corner. It was well loved and not easily parted from its owner. It has a strange green-black stain on one leg. You also see a large, beautiful corset and a parasol that aren't packaged or displayed for sale, but instead kind of tossed in the corner. The parasol is undamaged, but the inside and edges of the corset have that same strange green-black stain on it. And then, lastly, you see a cloak that is crumpled between the two. It's also stained. Give me an investigation check. I just want to see if you get a little bit more information on these items. Okay, yeah. So, what you're able to tell is that the corset is sized for an orc, and the cloak has a clasp on it that has the tree of Ganges on it.
That's the druid thing, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Right, so I will wander up to the horse and cast Lesser Restoration on it, cause yeet.
Okay.
And if this is about to be a fight, a horse buddy might not be so I can end a disease or whatever.
Yeah. Let me just check something real fast.
If it's poisoned or diseased, I can end one of those things.
I would like you all to very briefly look away from the stream.
I'm not watching it. I've
Okay.
got the chat up.
I just wanted to make
Got
sure.
it.
Don't be
Got
looking at it for just a minute. I just need to check something. Don't mind me.
All right.
Okay. Right before I cast Lesser Restoration, I will ping Kai again. There's a doll and a corset and a parasol in the cart as well. I don't know what's going on here.
So, oh, go ahead.
No, go for it. Go
Oh, I
for
was
it.
just gonna say, the Lesser Restoration does seem to help the creature. The horse, it feels a little bit more lively. It feels relieved, and you feel that kind of sickness that was within it leach away.
Cool. Go me.
And I just say back to her, that's weird.
Who?
You, oh, sorry, him, Marigold. Marigold, I say back to you, that's weird.
And I will step away from the horse and back towards the party.
You see Cameron, the one who hasn't spoke. He kind of steps up closer to Kai, and he just kind of like reaches out and touches your shoulder.
I kind of just very slowly pull back, if possible.
You are able to.
Okay.
And Corin's like, don't mind Cameron. He's the soft-spoken type. Really, take a seat. We can discuss, if you would like to buy some of the armor, or we can, we have some food. Maybe you can have dinner before you go.
You really are in a hurry, but your horse should be feeling better now.
Yeah.
So thank you for offering to train, but we really should be on our way.
Yeah.
If you're certain you're not hungry.
Absolutely, thank you. We just ate not only an hour ago.
Also, if the goods that you have acquired by searching that battleground were not part of your original trade goods, you could just leave them behind.
Well, that wouldn't be much for profit. We are, merchants. And Kai, you don't speak Titan speech, correct?
No.
Okay. But I would say that Caravan or Zasi, you may be close enough to hear. If you can just give me what's your passive perception?
Mm-hmm.
13.
12 for me.
Yeah. So Zas has a 13.
12.
12? Okay. So with that 12 and 13, you hear Cameron say something. And it seems like it was kind of in response to Corin. He says, "But we're hungry."
Oh God.
Ah, Kalia.
And I'd like you all to roll for initiative.
Ass.
Oh, yes. That's what we get for...
being nice. All right. Well, where's the horse? Is the horse here?
Yeah, the horse is right there. You did successfully heal it.
Yeah. So I'm like here-ish.
Oh, oops.
I
Crap.
don't know. I guess I'm gonna be behind Kai, or maybe in front of Kai. I don't know. Wherever.
Yeah, no, I want to be up front. I forgot to select my token before I hit initiative, so it didn't.
Same.
The tracker.
You can. Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't even have tracker up. There we go.
Noom,
It's-
Caravan.
it's
Holy
there, it's
shit.
there. Okay, let me just. I need to.
Here,
I just put my
Oh.
robe on. I'm feeling fly.
I'll roll it, and you can just put in the 5.12.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Oops.
Well, yeah, that's better anyway.
You should be able to edit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like as a player, you
Lovely.
can just click it and change it.
Oh
Or
yeah,
the
I can do it
exact
too. That's
same
right.
thing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Caravan.
There we go. I got you.
Okay. Caravan.
Convenient.
Caravan got the 21. Marigold got the 14. I got the 512. Okay. Zasa, what'd you get, Zasa? Oh yeah, the 14. Okay.
Yeah, I rolled the exact same thing I did before, so it worked out
nice.
just fine that I didn't enter it in.
Okay, so I think that's everybody. I got Karen.
Yes, that's everyone. You don't need to enter anyone else into the
Yes,
initiative.
no one
Fine.
else needs to be entered into the initiative. Of course not.
What is that?
Okay. So
They've transformed. They're about to roll out.
basically,
Auto vamps, roll out.
they don't actually look really any different, but there is more of a sinister aura coming off of them. Let me roll their initiative. They have different names because I named them something different, but whatever. Okay, so let me just organize this here for
Yep.
you.
Dead last.
All right, so Cameron, you're up first.
Oh.
You see that Corin and Cameron have now taken on a deeply sinister air, and they look like they're not going to be letting you leave.
Rude.
Very rude.
So, Caravan doesn't speak Titan speech, but she does speak Asathi, which we established has kind of an overlap. So she probably got the gist of it being hungry.
Yeah.
So I think she's adjusting the hood around her like little flippery looking ear flap things, and she's patting that in place. And she'll turn around. Didn't you say you had food? And she will notice that they're different.
Balls.
And is this a giant pit in the ground?
Yes, it is.
I would like to take a little step forward. And can I just shove this guy into the giant pit?
You can
Yeet.
you can definitely try and shove him. I believe that would be a athletics to do a shove.
Cool.
Nice.
I'll do that.
Yeet the spooky
Hmm.
man into
Okay.
the pit.
Okay, so you try and do that, and then he does a contested. I believe he can use acrobatics or athletics. I think his. Yeah, this would be better. Okay, so he tries to contest that. Only rolls an 8. So as you shove him, he goes stumbling back. He doesn't fall all the way in, but he is like kind of teetering on the edge over here. You were able to get him pretty far, but he's still kind of doing the cartoonish like wobbling like yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he will be if anyone were to attack him now, he would be it'd be an advantage, or they can just try and shove him again. But he's not totally in the pit yet.
Yeah, she'll continue moving to get between creepy dude and Zasa and just glare at this guy on the edge of the pit.
Okay, Marigold.
That'll be her turn.
Okay, so that's how far? Hang on. 15 feet. Can I see where his feet are on the edge of the pit?
Yeah, I think you could see his feet. I don't think Caravan would make like a wall that you couldn't see around or anything. So I think you could probably see him.
Delightful. I cast Mage Hand and yanked the soil out from under him.
That works. I'm gonna have him do an acrobatics, or I mean dexterity, to see if he falls or not. So give me just a minute here. 12. Yeah, he loses his footing and falls backwards. And you hear kind of a "Ah," as he falls into this weird deep pit in the ground. One down. Which one is this?
Does it matter?
I mean, for figuring out who goes next, yeah. Okay. Okay, so, oh, Marigold, are you doing anything else?
Marigold will use his bonus action to inspire Kai, who is in front of me.
Okay.
And just a little more than spooked by everything around him, simply just goes, you're great, kill everyone!
All right, Zasa, you're up.
DC 13 con save for the one who's not in the pit.
Okay. Oh, that was quite the sound. Okay, so you said DC 13?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. DC. Oh, they're actually pretty good at this.
Oh.
No.
This is one thing they're good at. Does it do anything? Okay, so it probably doesn't do anything if it fails or if it succeeds, right?
Correct.
Unaffected. Okay. Yeah, so it fights back against this feeling of
Oops,
being
sorry.
pulled upwards. That's all right. All right. Doing anything else, Elsa?
No.
Okay. It is now Cameron's turn.
Whoa.
Cameron, Kai, since you're right here, Cameron reaches a hand outward and this time tries to actually, make a connection with you. And let's see what he does.
13. Constitution saving throw.
Okay, so it was only so it's a saving throw.
Oh, okay.
I think it missed you. He missed you.
Okay.
So he tries to reach out and you're able to back up again. He's already reached for you a couple times, so you're kind of used to being like, I'm gonna back up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How's about no?
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. So okay, and one thing I just want to all make you aware of. So right now, that would be. Let me check here. 10. Okay, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Basically, all of you do feel kind of sick. You're not. It's almost as if there's some sort of strange aura that's making you feel not so great. You now are being affected by septic aura. Creatures within 10 feet of the flesh corruptor suffer a weakened resistance to necrotic damage. So that is a thing that's happening, but that is his turn. He failed to grab you. Kai, you're up. This weird cloaked monster thing tried to grab you.
Yes, he did. Okay. So since he tried to touch me, I'm gonna touch him right back.
That's fair game.
And I am going to cast Inflict Wounds.
Okay.
Reach out and bust face.
Oh, yes.
Okay, that's a 15 touch. That definitely hits.
Okay.
So you should just be
And
able to
then-
click and it'll give the damage.
Yep. All right. Yep. First level.
14.
Yo.
Let me see. Okay, yeah, he's not actually immune to necrotic damage. Cool. I was
Yeah,
about
that's what I was thinking. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I was hoping. Like,
Yeah,
no.
I was about to be like, wait a minute, isn't he? He's not. Oddly enough. You would think he would be. So 14. So that connects, and you see him. If you could see his face, he would be shocked. But he has kind of like a shocked feeling about him, like, oh, you got me back with the thing I was trying to get you with. Weird. All right. Any other movement or anything like that?
Let's see. No, I'm gonna stay here.
Okay, Caravan, you're up.
Caravan feels like, she's accomplished a job well done here.
Yeah, you definitely threw that flesh corruptor into a pit.
She's gonna circle the fire, walk up behind this dude, and just slap him across the back of the head.
Do it.
See what that does for her.
That
So
hits.
15
Nice.
hits. All right. 6 points of slashing damage.
All right, Marigold, you're up.
And okay.
Oh, unless Caravan's doing something else.
Yeah, I was thinking about spending a key point
Oh, go for it.
and doing 2 unarmed strikes as a bonus action.
Do it.
So I want to make sure I understand that correctly. I've never played a monk before. Does that mean I have 3 total attacks?
Yes, that is 3 total attacks. Okay,
Ooh.
so the 21
Ooh.
definitely hits. Let me just check. I'm trying to remember what his armor class is.
13's probably close on the line.
Yes. So both connect. You do
Oh, wow.
14 damage.
Total of 20 for those 3 attacks.
He's at 33. All right, Zasa. Or wait, correction. Sorry, that was Marigold. I already skipped one.
Yep. Okay. Delightful. Huh. Cool, I guess. This guy is really spooky.
He is spooky.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna cast this on him. I would like a DC 13 Wisdom save, please.
All right. DC 13 Wisdom. Oh, yes. You haven't had the chance to use this yet.
I haven't. We'll see what happens.
Wisdom. Ah, he fails. All right, so you have to roll your D4 to see which one of these affects.
It's a
Or
D6.
D6.
It is. The song is
Depressing.
Oh God. All right.
Okay, so they make all strength-based checks at a disadvantage while the song is active. All right. He was suddenly like full of himself, but now he's really thinking about Corin, who's in the pit, and he's real sad. You made him sad. All right, Zasa.
Do you know what Kervin's least favorite kind of pasta is? Nochi.
Oh no! Marigold actually laughs in the middle of singing. What do you want from me? Why are you?
DC 13 Wisdom.
Okay.
What are you wondering?
Oh my goodness.
What do you know?
He fails again. So now he perceives everything as hilariously funny.
And he's depressed.
He's depressed and also laughing.
He's laugh crying.
Stand up. He's cry laughing right now. All right. It's his turn, but he's cry laughing.
I think he gets another sing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he's just gonna make another save real fast. See if he can get over this, or if he's just gonna keep laughing while crying.
Oh, he's also deafened.
Oh, he was deafened by that one.
Yeah, on a failed save, the target is deafened and overwhelmed by the music with various results depending on the song type. You roll a d6 to determine what that is. I love this spell.
Oh yeah. So I don't know if you can perceive the joke. Doesn't
Oh,
have to be able to hear
shit.
it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, Zasa. All he can hear is the song. That's the thing, though.
Yeah, you can only hear the song. So, Zasa, I'll let you do something else, knowing this, because we forgot about it.
It was so good though.
Yeah, that was a terrible joke.
Oops.
Can I convey the joke telepathically?
So with that same save, then he eats 6 acid.
Okay, because it's a dexterity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that first one was failed for the wisdom, so we'll count that as the same. So we'll just say that does affect him. So he takes 6 acid. All right. Well, we're gonna have to leave this fight until next week.
Oh no!
Yeah, we're way over time.
We're at ending. So I would like to thank everyone for watching. Oh yeah, it looks like they already. Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go for today. Say who you are and what you're doing.
I'm Candy, DM of the Dicey Amazons on Twitch. Tomorrow we'll be playing Jackbox games at 11 a.m. Fun times.
Cool, very cool. Alrighty. Hiromi.
I'm Hiromi. We are starting up a Technocracy Reloaded game here on the Onyx Path channel to sort of herald in the new Mage 20th Anniversary Edition book, Technocracy Reloaded. I was one of the authors, and it's basically an all-star cast of almost all Mage authors, so that'll be a lot of fun right here on Tuesday, about the same time, I think.
Okay, very nice. Rune, you're up.
Hey guys, I'm Rune. I do the art thing for Cubicle 7, and you can find me on my own stream at RuneStyle on Twitch for a homebrew 5e game tomorrow, and then on Goldheart Gaming for another 5e game playing the Zen of Artists. I play too many wizards, I make art. That's me.
Alrighty, and Megan, you're up.
Hello, my main stream is Chromatic Chimera. I actually don't have anything on the slate for next week though, so if you want to hang out with me again, best way to do that is to come back here, same channel, same time, and hang out with all of us. It'll be great. We're gonna kill this guy shortly. Very soon.
Yeah, you are.
Yes.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Corinne, otherwise known as Manic Pixie Girl. You can find me on Roll the Roll usually. I hope you all have a great night. Stay safe, wash your hands, and now we will see the stream over to Devil's Luck Gaming, who's supposed to be hosting right now. Bye, everyone. See you next
Bye.
week.
Bye.
Same time, same place. Bye.
Bye.